R&B Money. We up. Tank. J Valentine. We are the authorities on all things R&B.
Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? My name is Tank.
I'm J Valentine.
And this, woo!
Ric Flair.
Woo!
Yeah.
It's the R&B Money Podcast,
Yeah.
the authority on all things R&B.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
One of them one.
Oh, y'all done messed up today. You done messed up today. Yeah. The real is in the building. Pardon my French, Pastor. The real thing is in the building. I'm talking about play every instrument on a level.
High level.
High level. Write it, sing it. Then he gonna design the clothing for you to wear on it. And then if your heart ain't right while you wearing the clothes, he gonna preach to you and save your soul.
Yeah.
I'm talking about 27 Grammy nominees, 9-time award-winning Warryn Baby Dub Campbell.
Yes, sir.
Why am I screaming? I don't know.
Mr. My Block himself.
You're making me clap for myself.
Yeah. Come
I
on,
gotta
man.
clap for myself
It's
on
your
that.
block. You might as well.
It's your block.
I
my
love
block.
how you so hyped, but he's not giving you anything back. You just like,
That's our balance.
That's amazing.
This nigga stupid. He don't. First of all, I mean, you family. So
Man,
welcome.
man,
Thank you for giving us your time, because I know this is, your time is precious.
Listen, man, thank y'all for having me. This is an honor. At least I done seen everybody sitting in this chair. I feel like I'm somebody.
Come on, man.
I feel like I'm
Touch that,
It's like the wood
touch
on
that
at the Apollo.
Touch that microphone.
Everybody here got kids.
Yeah.
You gotta have the microfiber.
Yeah.
I'm a little upset that you let me retire without giving me a hit record. Your discography is vast.
No.
You
can't do it, Tank.
we
can't
on
do it.
speed dial. Like we talk, we
Listen,
interact, and
we gonna do a record. Now, nobody might ever hear it. You might not want to put it out because you retired. But we gonna do this record.
I can't
and it's
do
gonna
a-
be so good, you're gonna be like, everybody got to hear it.
I can't do a record with you and not put it out.
It's gonna be that good. You're like, okay, people need to hear it. They got to hear this.
Thank you, bro. Again,
Absolutely, man.
And
And we need to do it at Marvin's room too. That's what we need to do with it in the Marvin Gaye studio. I'm dead serious. We're gonna do that. Yeah.
It's just becoming more and
it's
more. of a
it's
movie.
becoming a moment.
Yeah.
You know what I saw on your discography? Not to cut you off. I saw that one of your wins was.
Oh, I didn't know where you going.
You know where I'm going. Was Jennifer Hudson R&B Album of the Year.
Yeah.
I was on that album.
Well, then I have you to thank, because my song was, I don't even know how good my song was.
And they told me that I didn't qualify for hardware. Only a certificate,
Well, here's the thing,
which is wrong. Talk to me.
and I can speak to it. I've served on the Board of Governors at the NARIS for a few times, and we had this argument over and over again about hardware versus statue being valid as an actual Grammy. And it's really split down the middle. Some people say no, the statue is the certificate is a Grammy. Some people no, the hardware is a Grammy. So if you count the certificates, I'm like, I got 20 Grammys, but hardware wise, I only got what was that? Last year I won for best rap song, and that was my 5th. Hardware. So you can consider that plaque that
Because
you got
it's a
a
win.
Grammy. It's a win.
It says she got Best R&B Album of the Year.
I got that thing.
produced
I didn't
and
get
wrote
it
on that album.
I didn't get hardware. I got a plaque just like you got.
But why don't we get hardware?
Because you have to.
Why do other genres of music? Get
No genre does. You have to be, as a producer, you would have to have produced 51% or more of that album to get it.
Who does that?
Other genres.
Everybody does. So for instance, my wife, when she put out her first solo album, she won for best gospel album, right? I got hardware because I produced the entire thing.
Well, you're her husband.
Or Kelly. Yeah. That's true.
I wish she
like
would.
The Mary joints, I get hardware for that.
A husband and a brother-in-law.
Right.
And the label owner.
But say if I do, Tank got 10 songs on the album, you win, I produced 7 of them joints, I'm getting some hardware.
I know, but that's
really
unfair.
tough in the urban space now, though.
Yeah.
Well,
Nobody
it's tough
really
because,
does it.
especially like on an album like with Kanye's last album, Donda, there is 27 producers on one song. It's a gang of people on there. Like it's a lot. So how are they gonna split that up?
But music is collaborative. So my thing is, if you played a part, you should get something for it.
It's all
I
the
think so.
It's all the reason why it's album of the year.
So the actual
Well,
statue
album
just
of the
costs more
year.
money to make, man. It costs more money to make. Okay?
But the album of the year everybody get a statue for album of the year.
No, I mean R&B album. Of the year.
Well, yeah, then we just get the plaques.
And I think that if it's what's so different, I get it that it's across all genres, right? But that's really unfair to everybody who contributes to the entire body of work,
right?
To not be able to participate in that.
And I think being that we now have as a president a fellow R&B pioneer constituent, he could help change some of that because it is a thing. It's unfair. We should be getting them. We should be getting them statues.
Man,
We need some hardware around here.
I can't even get a nomination. Shit, I got to start somewhere.
Listen, man, you look like a Grammy. Look at that blonde skin. What are you drinking? What, you know Jay is really 63 years old.
You know Jay is really 63 years old.
You know Jay 107 years old.
You look just like that when I met you. You might have been a teenager then.
I was.
Like, God, dog.
I actually was when we met.
You know Joe Lewis is 167 years old.
I'm Joe Lewis now. I ran into one of my guys the other day. He said, what are you doing? What's going on, man?
You drinking tomato juice? Every morning?
I don't drink
J
tomato juice.
Valentine, a.k.a. Joe Lewis.
Joe Lewis.
Rocky Marciano kicked my ass. I don't like that.
There they go.
There they go.
That's they won. That's they won.
Baby Dub.
Yes, sir.
Let's go back to the beginning.
Long time ago.
Yeah. Let's start.
yes.
I think I'm older than everybody here. Yeah.
You sure? You have gray hair, but that doesn't mean anything.
I mean, it could be black. It was black last month.
Because I just turned 47. You know what I'm saying? Things are
we're
really
the same
happening
age.
for me.
I don't know. I'm 47.
When's your birthday?
August. I'll turn 48 this year.
Okay, you got me by 3 months. 3
Wow.
months. Yeah.
Man, I thought you was about 2-3 years younger than me.
I am.
Maybe it's the pectoral
I'm like
muscles.
Baby J. I'm Baby Joe.
Well,
Lewis.
Baby J, I'm gonna need you to learn how to count too, man, because January to August is not 3 or 4 months, man.
No,
But
he's
then
older than me. He turns that in there, and then I turn 48. So August, September, October, November, December. That's 4 months.
Oh, you turn your birthday in December.
My birthday January.
It's
Oh, yeah,
always
that's
tricky
it.
with him.
Yeah,
It's
that's
five.
not. It's not 3 months, but it's we do R&B. We
and
pay
a half?
somebody to count for us.
Yeah.
Well, don't do that no more either.
Yep, man. We gonna speak on that while we here too.
Yes.
Man, what? Dub, let's go to the beginning, man. I
do it.
feel like there was a church involved. I feel like you might not even have been
Had to
born
be.
in the hospital. I feel like you were born at the church.
And you really a native too. You really a LA native.
LA.
Yeah. You really a
LA
native.
born through and through.
Like when did somebody to say to you, that boy's special? That boy got it.
Man.
Or when did you and when did it click for you that okay, I do something different?
So I'm born in Watts. Me and Tyrese born in the same hospital. Raised in South Central. I'm what you call a pew-baby.
Yep.
Because they brought me home from the hospital. We went straight to church after that. But then I was raised, on a street called 52nd in Normandie, right in the hood. Gang culture, 5 Deuce Hoover Crips was the neighborhood I grew up in. So I had both things happening.
Are you a 5 Deuce?
I'm what you call a rider. So we can get into that. I really wanted to be jumped in so bad. But my dad said, if I catch you, if I hear that you didn't got jumped in and put on, I'm gonna kill you myself. And I was much more afraid of him than anybody on that block. So I was like,
dads back then was different. They meant the violence.
I was like, I'll take my chances.
Yeah.
But yeah, so my family, in the small church that I was raised in, was called King's Chapel Apostolic Church on the east side of LA, was a very, very liberal black church because the bishop's daughters were R&B singers.
Ooh.
One was my godmother. Her name was Edna Wright Perry. She passed a couple years ago. She was the lead singer in the band, the group, The Honeycomb.
Oh, wow.
Gonna put it on the one ass.
Yeah.
She's the lead singer in that.
And their father was?
Their father was our pastor, the bishop.
Okay.
Her older sister's name is Darlene Love. She's known all over the world for being the Christmas lady. Sing the Christmas songs with Phil Spector.
Yes.
That documentary, 20 Feet from Stardom. She was the star of that.
Yes.
She won an Oscar. Those were...
They're sisters.
They're sisters.
Wow.
And so I grew up in their father's church. So, and then my family and their family was the music department. My dad played bass and directed the choir and sung in the choir. My uncle played the organ. My cousin played the drums. I played piano and drums. And the choir was my mom and my cousins. It was everybody. And then my uncle was the director and sang lead. He's the guy that's singing, I'm gonna sing a song for you.
On Fat Albert?
Fat Albert.
No way.
That's my Uncle Michael. He passed away in 87. He was on Broadway. So in our little church, there was only like 100 people in this church. It was all this music. Everybody would come to our church. Elder Barge would come. Bono would come.
What?
Dionne Warwick would come. Just Andre, people would just come because the music at that church was crazy. And I'm the church musician. I started playing drums at 4 in the church.
Come on, man.
And
Come
so,
on, bro.
yeah, 4 years old.
Yeah.
4 years old, yeah. I was holding it down. And by 6, I was playing bass. By 9, I'm playing piano. And the thing is, you better know how to play. You can't be whack,
Incredible.
They'll hit you.
Because there's
with
no
the shoulders.
there's no embarrassment like church embarrassment when you up there playing and then the singer go like this. Like don't stop. I'm gonna sing a cappella because you messing me up.
Or they say, and somebody hit you with them.
Yeah.
They move you over?
Or they scoot you over. Like watch out. I got you. Woo, in front of everybody. And everybody look at you. You just feel hot. You're like, ooh, you don't want that.
I've been scooted off to B3. I was a piano player and I couldn't quite get my feet together.
You couldn't get the choreography together.
I couldn't get the choreography. And the preacher was hooping and I knew I was nailing it up here. I wasn't quite nailing it down here. He looked at the other organ and said,
that's when they do this. The switch sign, was somebody playing wrong, this is the sign.
that was the sign in the church?
Switch. Like, get somebody else get up there. And be like, oh.
No, I didn't even get that. I was like,
Yeah,
I felt some arms go across my face. I just scooted on.
that's that East Coast embarrassment.
Yeah, no.
You.
Yeah. You're whack. You get
Yeah, man. But that's where I was, so much music.
And it's all, at this point, are you even listening to secular music?
Yeah.
But you're listening?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, because like I said, all that was happening in our church. I mean, the bishop's daughters were R&B stars.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they were doing it and all these people was around. Even when they needed, somebody needed a choir, some kids, they would come get us. And we would sing on our records and all kind of stuff. So, when my other friends whose fathers were pastors and preachers, like Nissan and Rapture and them, they could not listen. Shout out to Nissan Stewart, Rapture Stewart. They couldn't do none of that.
Right.
And
because that was super progressive for that time.
Yeah, my dad. Let me tell you what he told me one time. I met Mario Winans when I was 14. He was out here playing drums for his mom at some church.
Little Mario, or
no, Mario Winans.
Mario Winans.
Winans. Yeah. This
son.
Before he became big
Hitman.
The Hitman. Yeah.
Okay.
He was one of the coldest drummers in the world, right?
Yeah.
So I'm talking to him. He was telling me about how he don't fool with secular music, and I was so enamored by him. I was about 14. He's a little bit older than me. He had just produced this gospel group, and it was killing. I just thought I wanted to be Mario. He was like, "I don't fool with secular." So I said, "Okay, shoot, that's what I'm doing." I ain't doing no secular either. So I go home to my dad, just trying to impress my dad, really. You know what, Dad? I'm not ever going to do no secular music. My dad said, man, sit down. Let me talk to you. He said, you don't do construction like me. You don't type. You don't take dictation. You are a musician. That's your occupation. I see all this music you like, this R&B. I don't really like all that cussing because I was heavy in the NWA at the time. Mm. But you do the music in your heart that you like because music is your occupation. Now, you got your occupation and your salvation. What you don't want to do is let your occupation run all over your salvation. You got to have standards. And that's what my dad told me at 14.
You don't want to let your occupation.
Oh, man. I just had chills, man.
Run
I just
over
got chills.
your salvation.
Yeah. And so at that, so I went to death row.
Welcome to death row.
Welcome to death row.
Welcome to death row.
Yeah.
And I dancing in your video.
After this conversation. I mean, obviously, it's some time, but yes.
No, but it was some time. But my father, and at that time, we weren't in that little church anymore. My father's the pastor now.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I'm the musician at the church. And my dad sent me out to do this. He was like, "No, you do what you do." And
so could nobody tell you nothing
at
that point? Yeah.
No. I remember we talked about my friend Nissan Stewart going to his dad and saying, "Bishop Stewart, man, just let Nissan come with me to do this gig." Rest in peace, Puff Johnson. R&B singer.
Yeah.
She had me put a band together. We went to go do, y'all remember the Impact Convention?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Nissan came with me, he played, and we was trying to get Nissan back for church. We was late. So we got in the airport, landed in LA, get to the house, Bishop was sitting in the kitchen. Y'all ain't make it back to church. I said, Bishop, Nissan made $800. He said, $800? Well, take him again next time too. he opened. Now Nissan, he opened and Rapture started doing stuff, But my dad was like really like on some, no, you go and do what you got to do. Like, this is your job. Make money. Do it.
It doesn't affect how you live your life.
No. He was like, you can be saved into your job. He says, I'm a pastor.
Right.
When I leave church, I go to work. Where do I work? My dad worked at the brewery. He worked at Anheuser-Busch for 35 years.
Wow.
I'm the pastor. I make beer. He said, they don't pay my bills. I pay my bills. I said, okay. That's your occupation. Two different things. I said, all right. So that's how I live my life, man.
I didn't know that growing up. I had that same lesson in high school. We got offered a record deal from Virgin Records.
Oh, wow.
And it was like, if you guys could just, tone down the Jesus just a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Just, even if it's inspirational, it was like this. We've got to say the blood of Jesus.
You should have been like,
this.
How much money you paying me? Gotcha. We'll write something different tomorrow.
we didn't know.
Yeah,
and you got to remember, DC, like the industry is not the industry understanding that is not as prevalent.
It also depends on what you're called to. Mm-hmm. If I'm called to sing gospel, then that's what I'm gonna do. Mm-hmm. I wasn't necessarily called to do that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I'm a music guy. Music is music to me. Mm-hmm. That's why when you listen to like the Mary Mary stuff, I didn't know how to actually make a gospel record.
Right.
I doing Mary Mary. I was just off of doing
R&B. It was a vibe.
It was just music.
Right before that, I was doing Drew Hill.
Right.
So I was like, I don't know how to do choirs. I got a choir on my label now. I don't produce it. Gerald Haddon produces it because I don't know how to do that. That's not my that ain't my thing.
Yeah.
But I appreciate it. But my thing is, I do all music. Music is, God is not that arrogant where he feels like all the music in the world should be about him. Otherwise, in the Bible, there's a book called The Songs of Solomon. If you read that book, man, it sounds like an R. Kelly record.
La la la
La la la la.
La 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 la.
I think they dropped the charges in Chicago.
They did. They dropped in Chicago. But I'm saying I'm saying the Bible. He's talking about. I just want to feel your breast and I want to suck the supple of the. It's all kind of. I said, man, Song of Solomon. He's dropping some.
It's out there.
You probably got some of your stuff out that book. Film out.
I'm waiting to turn 80 so I can drop gasms.
Yes.
But my point is, it's all. Why can't we talk about love and still be Christian?
That was never the conversation with us growing up.
How we get here?
And that's tough because nobody is. I was watching this. I don't know if y'all saw this viral court case going around where the lady was like, "Yeah, I just don't want to do this no more because every time we trying to make love, he turning on like the Mississippi Mass."
I saw that.
I haven't seen that.
I cried laughing, going, "Man, what are you doing?"
That's just not how that works. And it took so long for me. I had to come to that conclusion on my own because nobody from my traditional space were even open to thinking.
No, we talking about it, Christianity and sexuality and how they merge. Like, we got all these little Christians running around, kids everywhere. Somebody doing something.
They're absolutely doing it.
Come on, man.
So it's part of the conversation.
What are we talking about?
It's part of real life.
Yeah.
And
do you think though that was a difference between, because he mentioned this earlier, East Coast and West Coast?
No.
Be it, not even just East Coast and West Coast, but a place like Los Angeles. Like you said, when you walked outside, you saw something completely different.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you, there was a little bit of a stigma on the West Coast churches. They said we were loose because we had the beach. We went to the beach. We went to the movies.
Wait, you can't go to the beach?
Some on the East Coast, they were like, you didn't go to the movies. Oh, the beach? That means you got to put on the bathing suit and show your legs? No, you ain't doing that.
Yeah, it was tradition.
They couldn't go to the movies because you got to sit in the dark with somebody. Weird, spooky, weird stuff.
Gotta sit in the dark with somebody.
We were mostly like East Coast or whether Midwest. We were mostly descendants of the South.
Yeah,
and so that was old. So yeah, man,
we were very liberal out here,
different.
and they were like, the West Coast, they called us loose. Like, we ain't loose. We just ain't weirdos like y'all. Like, what the heck? Like. It was
weirdo.
No.
I grew up a weirdo.
I did. I was a weirdo.
No, in them churches, a lot of them churches, you couldn't grow beards. Like, who said you can't? You thought it was perfectly okay to tell people that God told you that you can't wear lipstick or makeup or a beard, or you can't wear jewelry. I'm like, come on, man.
Yep.
That's not. You think God care about like that lipstick? Whew, I can't love you. No, he don't care about that. He does not. He just don't. Let me speak for him. He don't care about that.
I think there was a thing about being attractive at church that was just frowned upon.
Yeah, man.
That was a thing of being
overly attractive,
desired.
Yeah,
at church.
It's weird. That's why a lot of people like when I was 18, I left. Even though my dad's church was liberal, but he was liberal, but the people in the church, they were just still that mentality. So when I got 18, I was like, yeah, I went enough. I went to enough church. I'm good.
You went to another church?
No, I left church. I've had enough. I'm like, I went on the road. Brandy, we was playing with Brandy at the time. It was their keyboard player, and I said, I'm good.
Was that your first gig coming out of your father's church? What was your first moment of like?
Before I went on the tour of Brandy, I was already doing the Death Row stuff and DJ Quik.
Okay, let's go back then.
Yeah. So what are you doing at Death Row?
Yeah.
So how I got to Death Row was one of my homeboys growing up. I've known this guy since I was 9 years old. Y'all know him. His name was DJ Rogers Jr.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
And his father and my uncle and them, they all grew up together. My mom and all of them. So I've known him forever. I was graduating. I was 17. The day I graduated high school, I was getting ready to go to what they call the grad night, and everybody go to Disneyland. I get a call from DJ. Man, you got to come down to the studio. I'm like, the studio? Yeah, I'm in Santa Monica at the studio. And blah, blah, blah. I was like, shoot, grad night studio? I'm coming to the studio.
Yeah.
Go to the studio, and we in there, and he was working with somebody. I can't remember who it was, but he gets in a fight with them. And whoever he got in the fight with, he was staying with him.
Like a fist fight?
Like a fight, like, yeah. And so DJ beats this dude up in the studio, and he ends up coming back to my house because he can't stay there. I ain't gonna bust your lip, and you ain't bust my lip and come live with me. So he came, stayed at my house. We wrote a song at my house. He says, you know what? I'm gonna get DJ Quik to do the drums on the song. I said, DJ Quik? What do you mean? You don't know DJ Quik? I do, man. It's like my brother. I'm like, yeah, right. We get in the car.
That's LA for you.
And drive out.
That's LA. That's great.
To DJ Quik house. He opened the door in a wife beater and boxer drawers. I'm like, whoa, this is DJ Quik.
Wow.
This is crazy. I'm 17. We come in the house and we play the song. He put the drums on the song. I'm like, this is amazing. So he's digging what I'm doing on the keys. He's like, hey man, why don't you come to the studio and come play on some of the stuff we doing.
Mm-hmm.
That album came out to be Safe and Sound. DJ Quik's third album. I'm all over that.
On Safe and Sound?
Yeah, I'm playing the keys, all the string stuff, and all. I'm playing a lot on that record. I'm all over there, and Quik is just, man, he's blowing my mind what he's doing. That's the first time I saw a drum machine, like an MPC 62.
62,
right?
I know it
now,
well.
what was happening was, when all the homies is around, the entourage, he's playing the music loud, everybody got their beer and hey, doing all this, and then he breaks it down and puts it on the small speakers and starts digging through the crates again. Everybody would leave, go out, mess with the girls, play ping pong or whatever. I would stay in the room and be in the corner just watching, like, man, what is he doing? He's pulling his records out, got a turntable, he's putting the break in, da-da-da. And he would go to the bathroom. I would walk up there and hit the drum machine like, oh, what's this?
Yeah.
And I wrote down what it was, MPC 62. And I went to the recycler newspaper and I bought one. Came back a couple of days later. I said, hey, Quik, I bought that drum machine like you got. He said, what? He scrunched his face up. What? I thought he was mad. I'm like, oh, man, I done messed up. He walked out. Then he came back like 5 minutes later with a briefcase. A metal anvil briefcase, and he opened it. It was floppy disks with all his music.
All the sound.
All his sounds. Handed it to me, says, take this home. Get some blank discs, copy everything, go through stuff you like, copy it, bring it back. I'm going to show you how to work it. That's how I got my start.
Oh, shout out to DJ.
Shout out to DJ.
Because
Quik.
What you just said is something so important in this music business that we don't talk about. The sharing of sounds. That is like the holy grail,
Yeah.
for producers.
Yeah.
Especially back then.
Yep.
They weren't giving you no sounds.
No, because think about this. What differentiates Timbo from Pharrell? The drum sounds, the sounds.
Absolutely.
From Dre, from Quik to Primo, the drum sounds. They all had their sounds, right? Quik's thing was, you're not going to use them how I use them anyway. You're going to use them differently. Because the thing is, he understood what most people don't understand now. He said, okay, I'm going to give you what I do, but you don't know why. See, the why is the big thing.
The why.
I can tell. I'll tell anybody what I did on the record. Oh, I did this, I did that, I played this, I did this. I'm never going to tell you why, because that's my secret sauce. Why did I go to that chord instead of that? I'm not telling you that. You just know that I did it. You don't know why I did it. And so he didn't give me the why, but he gave me the what. And I created my own why. You know what I'm saying? So when you listen to Mary Mary's first album, that's Shackles, that drum bass, that's a DJ Quik drum. That's his drums that he gave me. He sampled that I used. And so in the interim when that happened, he started being managed by Suge. So we moved from one studio to the Death Row studio, and that's when I met Daz. And
another amazing producer.
Oh man, Daz was like, that's my guy. He was dope. I met all those guys, Dog, everybody. And one day, Suge, this is an amazing story because at the time I was actually signed to another production company called Lifestyles, myself and Battle Cat, Michael Harris. Harry O.
Okay.
I was signed to Harry O.
Okay.
But I was working at Death Row.
Yeah.
If you're from LA, you know
what that means.
That's like
that was a problem.
Working for the Gambino family and the two different mob families at the same time. I didn't know how deep in I was till I get to the studio and I'm working and I finally meet Suge. My homeboy introduced me to him. So man, they called me Boy Wonder at the time. It's my little man, call him Boy Wonder. Suge looking at me like this. Yeah, I know who you are. I got my hand out. He won't shake my hand. He just looked at my hand like, I was like, oh, this nigga, I put my hand back in my pocket. I know you are. Yeah, but you signed to the wrong nigga though. How you know who I'm signed to? I just met you. That's all right. I'm going to sign you anyway and I'll deal with the consequences later. And he walked off. I was like, the next morning I get a call. Do y'all remember Howard Johnson? Fine to do. So fine. You blow my mind.
I do. Yes.
Baby,
Absolutely.
baby.
Yes. Absolutely.
Howard
100%.
Johnson was working for Lifestyles for Harry O. I get a call from Howard. I get a beep from Howard Page. Pull over, go to the payphone. Howard, what up, man? Hey, man, I got Mike on the other line. Because Mike is in the penitentiary at the time.
Yeah.
He want to talk to you. I said, okay. Hey, homie, what's going on, man? I thought we were supposed to be family, man. I said, huh? yeah, man, you got Suge talking all this stuff, man, about he gonna sign you. That I was like, that was just last night.
and you in jail?
You up in Lancaster in the penitentiary. I know you there because my uncle there with you. He told me. I didn't know what I was involved in at that point. I was like, okay, this is kind of dangerous. I don't even know what this is. But some kind of way, Hojo helped me get out of that deal, and I ended up just, I forgot how I got out of it, but then I ended up just working with Death Row more, and then lifestyle sort of went away and continued on with Death Row and doing, all the Tupac stuff and all that stuff after that.
All the Tupac stuff.
Yeah, a lot of it. Yeah. A lot of it, yeah. I wasn't a producer yet, mind you. I'm a keyboard player.
So you're doing session work.
And Can
you tell us something you played on?
Yeah. Now, anything on All Eyes on Me that you see produced by Johnny J, R.I.P. Johnny J, that's me playing all that stuff. And at the time, right before we did this, I met Big John Platt, who was offered me a publishing deal. So while we're doing this stuff with Tupac, Suge says, I'm going to sign your publishing. And he says he's going to give me this much money. But it was like, he said he was going to give me $10,000. Big John said he's going to give me 60. Right. So I told Suge, I already got a publishing deal.
You know that the difference between 60 and 10, but I don't know if Tank know the difference. The boy got plenty of money though.
He got plenty of money.
Mud.
Why would you double back here? That's not even cool.
Man.
Wait. So okay. So you got the $60,000 deal
with Big John,
and you got the $10,000 deal where you're actually getting the work at though.
I'm working over there. He's like, yeah, but it was a different feel. When I went to see Big John, is in this office. We high up 8730 Sunset.
Yeah,
I can see. I'm like, it's just a different feel.
Yes.
We in Suge office, and it's it's different. I'm like, So I tell Suge, I already got a publishing deal. He's like, well, I can't put your name on nothing, but you can still work here, because he was paying me. To me, at this time, I'm 18, 19. He said, well, what you want to get paid? I said, I want $1,500 a track. And I thought,
that was ball.
He said, all right.
Yeah, that's all right.
The first song I did, I sent an invoice in. They let me go pick my check up from Gelfand, Renard, and Feldman, Century City. The check was almost $7,000. I said, I asked for $1,500, so I was scared at first, and I didn't cash it for a while. Cause I was like, man, I don't know. So some said, man, look at that other little piece of paper at the back, on the back of the check, and it said 1,500 piano, 1,500 strings, 1,500 Fender Rhodes. I was like, oh, they're paying me per track.
Per track, literally.
When they started doing that, I said, oh, that ain't what I meant, but I'll take it. Wow. So I was down there every day, just in the hallway. Dad, you need something? I
got that for you, baby.
Listen,
got that hot track. Got
that hot track.
I brought my hands with me today. What you need? What you need?
Hot track.
The hands team is here.
Yeah.
Who need it?
So that's So I was like, yeah, I want to keep working. Sure, yeah, I want to keep working. So he was like, I can't put your name on that. And so when you see Johnny J, that's me doing on All Eyes on Me. It's like 17 of those songs on there. The only song I got credit on is Woman to Woman on the Murder Was a Case soundtrack. Keys, Warryn Campbell.
And that's Jewel, right?
That's Jewel, yeah.
Yeah.
And I started producing Danny Boy's album. That's when I started producing records. That never came out. That album was about to be crazy.
So they knew you were more geared toward R&B.
Yeah. I mean, most people around there, like even some of the producers, everybody came out. They was all church boys. And like Dad's mom was, was an evangelist, preacher. I knew her, priest, Superfly. They I call it cheats. CHEETS. It's church and the streets. In LA, you kind of both.
Yeah.
That's just how you grow up. You grew up in on Monday through Friday, we was in the streets. But we all worked at our daddy's churches too. So we played, but then Monday through Friday, we back at it, doing whatever we was doing.
Yeah.
Which is probably not the best way to live, kids. Don't do that. But that's what we were doing.
Yeah.
So that's why I fit in at a death row, because the culture around there, I understood it.
Right.
That's where I grew up. That's how I grew up.
Literally your block.
Yes, my block.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're at death row until when?
Maybe about 4 months right before Tupac was assassinated. I'm gonna say assassinated. I don't agree with Chris Rock, because Chris Rock said they didn't get assassinated. He got shot. Nah, that was an assassination. That was a great man. That dude was. Think about how old he was. Think about how old we are now.
As a baby.
Yeah.
Dude was 25. Was he 25?
Yeah. How much more life we've lived since that? Yeah.
So about 4 months before that, I was there. And after that, I just started kind of veering off because, the stuff I was doing at EMI, Big John, writing sessions, I was like, I'm not doing much of that over here. I'm like, at the time I was writing, it was 96. I had just started writing with then Alicia Cook.
Who became
Alicia Keys.
Yeah.
Right? We were writing songs. I was like, I want to keep doing this. So, I just kind of phased out of that. Nothing, no bad blood, nothing. I just was doing something else. You know what I mean? And then all that stuff started happening. I was just like, wow, it's going crazy over there.
Yeah.
So I can't go back there now. I'm going to just chill over here and do my thing.
So is Alicia, she's not at J Records yet?
No, Alicia, she didn't have a deal yet. She just got signed to EMI as a writer.
Okay.
Then I think she was with So Def for a minute. Then Columbia had her. Then Arista. Then J Records.
Wow.
She went through a few deals before she got, to J. But yeah, I was writing with her, writing with all kind of different people they had me, writing with, and then they sent me to Atlanta, and I met Jermaine Dupri. He's the first person to ever give me a check for producing a record. First person. That album didn't come out. It was Trina Broussard.
I remember Trina Broussard.
Yeah. He paid me some money too. I was like, dang, this is crazy. And then right after that, he hired me to produce a record on Escape. But he was the first guy. Everybody thought I was from Atlanta for a long time because that's why I was there so much. But yeah.
And that came off of Big John. Sending you to Atlanta.
Not just sending me, taking me, walking me like into Jermaine Dupri's mama house. Like, this is my man,
Like, this is it. It's so important to have these conversations because we've lost so much of that in our industry now, where somebody is literally walking you into a home that can, take you somewhere else.
Change my life. Listen, it's
your
about
life.
belief. Like, when you believe in somebody like that, nowadays, that belief ain't strong. If I believe in somebody, this is what happens today. I think this kid is dope. Let's try him. And the first 2 times it don't work, you just kind of, lose focus.
Yeah.
Big John had me in the EMI studio 2 years with no placements. I was in there every day, writing. He's sending, back then it was cassettes.
Yeah.
With my name on it and
you
getting
gotta FedEx
nothing.
You got to FedEx it out. Ain't no MP3.
Nah.
Ain't no
Yeah.
Or even a DAT.
A
He's
DAT.
sending like songs. I like the song, and then we're listening to songs late at night. Like, no, change the hi hats. Then you gotta, man, that first line, you gotta come with the better first line. And so he's helping me, and we ain't getting no
helping you
nibbles,
curate.
right?
Yeah.
He says, you know what? We're gonna go to New York. We fly to New York in the dead of winter and walk the streets to go to every office. We got to put a face with the name. And everybody there told me no. I'm talking about we went to see everybody. Remember Bruce Carbone back in the day? We went to see him, Sylvia. This for everybody, right? And I'm like, man, Big J, this is crazy. Like, I know I got it. I said, I'm just as good. At the time, I'm competing with this Teddy Riley and Jammin' Lewis and Dallas Austin and people like that. Babyfaces, they're controlling the radio right now. Yeah. I said, I'm just as good as them. He said, that's your problem. You just as good as them. You got to be better. They know, these record labels, they know that. They know them. They don't know you. You got to come with something different. I was like, man, so he just challenged me finally. And then one key thing he said, Big John was I attribute a lot of my success to him because he was my coach. Mm-hmm. He said, when everybody goes right, go left. Just go left. You got to stand out. Everybody doing this, you got to do something different. That's the reason I did Mary Mary instead of doing a rap group or R&B girl group, because everybody had that. All the producers had groups doing that. I was like, ooh, I'm going to do this, but I'm going to do it on the same level.
Yeah. I remember the first time I heard about it.
Oh,
I had just got to LA.
Oh, wow.
And I would go to Rapture in them church with him.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
he was like, man, you got to hear Warryn group. It's girl group. It's two girls.
Did they sing at a concert and you was there?
I think it was. Was it watch night service at his father's church?
It was something. I remember that.
Yeah,
I got a videotape of it somewhere.
It was something. And he was like, I'm telling you, they called. And I was like, what's the name? He's like, Mary. I was like Mary in the Bible? He's like, yeah. I was like, that's weird.
Yo, DC church kicked back in.
DC church, I went back traditional on him. You can't do that. That's all. You can't steal Jesus' mama name. So when he told me, I was like, he's like, it's gonna be crazy. I'm telling you. And lo and behold, when that thing hit that radio,
man, it hit, man.
I said, oh.
I felt like that first album. That's something I feel like I had been making that first album my whole life. My whole life had prepared me just for that one moment. I remember Big John calling me. He was in the parking lot of EMI. I was at home. He said, man, I'm almost in tears. I said, almost. He's like, you did it. And so another thing, he was like, when that album came out, it went platinum and won a Grammy, right? And so I'm just...
The statue?
Statue. I had the statue. And so I'm like, man. So I'm talking about it. Big John goes, all right, that's enough. I don't want to hear you say nothing else about that album no more. What? I just won the Grammy.
Right.
I sold 1 million records. They signed to my label.
Yeah,
like, come on, man.
It's wins all the way around.
Yeah.
He's like, listen, don't nobody care about that. Don't nobody care about what you did. They only care if you can do it again. Can you go do it again? If you can do it again, then we got something to celebrate. Like, okay. He kept putting, so for years, I didn't celebrate much. I just kept my head down and just worked. And I looked up and had all this stuff. And I would say he was right and wrong at the same time, because you have to take time to celebrate what you did. And because, man, I did some stuff I just don't even remember.
Right.
I have no, somebody sent me something on Instagram yesterday. It was a Mos Def record.
You forgot you did it.
I don't remember doing it. I know I did it. And those are my sounds. I don't remember doing that at all. Sex, drugs, and money. Sex, love, and money or something. Brooklyn, sex, drugs, and money. Something like that. Mos Def, I was like, dang.
That's wild.
Don't remember.
I remember I walked in the studio one day. I can't remember where you were. I was like, what you working on? He was like, I'm just working on this, just scoring this thing. I was like, you're scoring? Yeah, I'm scoring this, and the mouse comes on the screen on the TV, and then is
that how he was looking?
and then Stuart Little starts talking. I'm like,
Oh,
I was
yeah.
Like, what the fuck is going on?
I was doing the Stuart Little thing. Yeah, that's right.
I was like, so what are you doing again?
Hey, you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. Because I had never
good
seen anybody scoring anything before. I didn't know how that happened.
Yeah.
And growing up, we didn't think that we scored.
I definitely
Right?
didn't
Like-
think that one would be in his score.
Let me tell you, my North Star in music is Quincy Jones.
Yeah.
And everything that Quincy Jones did, I would read all about him, whatever. I wanted to do that. That's the reason why I went to work for Elektra Records to do A&R. And when I got there, I read that Quincy Jones wouldn't take a black title. VP of A&R of black music. I was like, I'm not taking no black title. So I want to be involved in the conversations, with everything. So with Sylvia Rhone, I'm in the room when I'm with her when she goes to see Jet and she signs Jet. I'm in the room when she signs Jason Mraz, or when she's working on a Metallica and Stain album. I'm like in the conversations because I want to be involved in all that because Quincy Jones did it. Quincy Jones was scoring.
Absolutely scoring.
And I'm talking about in the heat of the night, the Pawnbroker in the 60s, the movies, the Italian Job, the original, Quincy
Jones.
And he did it on paper.
Like this, yeah.
So I'm like, I got to do that. Like I'm like, I wanted to emulate that guy. So,
So you know music.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my dad, man, shout out to my pops. He told me when I started playing, he realized I had a gift. He says, listen, I don't want you to be another dime a dozen church musician. That's exactly what he said. Because everybody can play. Listen to this church. Everybody in this church play. Everybody. I play, Uncle play, everybody play. But what you going to do with it after that? I need you to go. I'm going to send you. He sent me the lessons. I was in R.D. Colburn Conservatory. It was a USC school at 12, learning classical music, learning to play classical piano, By the time I was 14, I was in music composition classes. He took me to a guy named Herb Mickman, who was a bass player and MD for Sarah Vaughan, who taught me jazz composition and theory and things of that nature. And I learned how to write from piccolos all the way down to double basses and orchestrate. You know what I mean? So, you know, and I didn't.
Really a student of the game.
Yeah. And I didn't, like I tell people all the time, I didn't do that just to play with 808s and make hi-hats go fast. Like I really want to do it. I could do that.
Yo, talk. Yeah.
Can we stop the pod for a minute?
Yeah.
Can we pause the pod for a minute? I don't know who needed to hear that. I don't know who needed to feel that floss.
Man.
But my God. Okay.
You know, it's just, we were in a time now where, you know, we talked about earlier the sounds and how that was, you know, a part of the sonic identification of a producer. Now everybody, the reason why the radio sounds like one long song,
It's all the same.
because everybody's getting the same sounds from the same places.
Yep.
You can go online, download sounds, and everybody's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
When we were digging through records, through crates, and I found a snare from blah blah blah. Oh man, and I had my own little thing with that, and that was my sound. You know, nowadays I like to keep with that. So it may take me a little longer to do a record. That's okay. But when it comes, sonically, you're gonna know it's me. You're gonna know it's something different. You know you're hearing something different than what you hear normally. You know what I'm saying? I wish, I'm teaching my son now. He's 12. He's playing bass and programming and stuff like that. He's in a program called YOLA, the Youth Orchestra of Los Angeles. It's like the farm team for the LA Philharmonic. He's playing upright bass and stuff like that. But I'm showing him things like how to, like, I put him on the MPC 60, 3000. Teach him that. Like, learn how to make sounds for yourself. Like, I'm not giving you sounds that everybody else got. You're going to learn how to work with these, you know. And so even though he's 12, like, he doesn't know nothing else. He don't know, he ain't never heard the future. He ain't never heard, you know, whatever's happening right now, he ain't heard it. He has no idea. He's listening to Body Heat by Quincy Jones. He's listening to Off the Wall. He's listening to classical stuff, like stuff that I'm trying to, like, because he's going to get to that generically by himself.
Easy.
But when he get there, he going to have all this
so
stuff.
much other stuff. Yeah.
Because I eventually got to the hip hop and all that stuff, but I had so much stuff in me that my father instilled in me. By the time I got to it, I just thought about it differently. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I see what you're doing, LeVar Ball. I see what you're doing over there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Big baller.
Big baller brand.
Yeah.
So you get this, you have this label now, successful label. When did Mary drop? Mary drop?
Mary came out May 2000, the first album.
That's exactly when. Yep.
And I, at the time we weren't a label yet. We were still Naira Productions, Naira Entertainment. It was my name backwards.
I remember that. I remember that.
I seen Oprah had Harpo. I said, "What's her name backwards?" I'm gonna do Naira. It didn't make sense at all, but I did it. And by their third album, which was the album with they had a song called Yesterday. There's a big song called Yesterday on there, Heaven. I changed it. We flipped everything to actual labels. That was 2006.
Okay.
So we became a label in 2006. And they were the only people signed to the label. Them, and I had a little sister. I have a little sister.
You have one.
Joy.
Yeah.
So Joy.
Shout out to Joy. That's my homie.
Yeah.
Joy Star.
That's my homie, man.
She's still one of the coldest singers and writers ever.
Yes.
We just did a deal for her through our label with Clive. And, you know, that was happening. So she was like the second person signed, and I had Mary, and, you know, it kept going and going. And we signed Kelly Price and did that only time she was nominated for that many Grammys. She was nominated for 3 Grammys that year.
Oh, wow.
It was a great album called Kelly. I think it was just called Kelly. She had a song called Not My Daddy.
Not My Daddy.
Her and Stokely. Yeah. That was ours. We signed.
Did you produce that record?
Not My Daddy?
Yeah.
Not My Daddy is produced by, yes, I did produce that album. Because I was going to say Shep, but like, no, I did that album.
It's me.
Yeah. But like I played it on the piano, sent it to them. That's Mint Condition playing all the stuff though.
Okay.
But I'm producing it. So but yeah, I produced that album, and then we signed Music Soul Child. We did an album on him, and of course my wife.
I remember, not to cut you off, I remember coming by your studio, and I used to just pop in on you.
Yeah.
Because it's funny, like you said, you and Take work once together. I don't think we've ever worked together. I think we just always homies.
Because you was with Damon and them.
Yeah.
And I lived in the house, the thing next door. Y'all was in Running Springs. I was in Buckingham Estates.
Right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and we was just, I mean, I don't know, we probably 20 years at this point.
Yeah.
Being friends.
We played a little basketball.
And played basketball and hung out, but never worked. But you know me, and Tank always says this. Tank is always just like, Jay he be checking on people. He'll pop in. And I used to just come by the studio.
Yeah.
And I think one day I came by, I know. I came by one day and you working with Music Soul Child.
Yeah.
And I just, you would just let me sit there. You know what I mean? You was never on some like, oh yeah, man, we got a session, and if you come back,
no.
But we all know there are just, there are people in this
people
business.
do that.
And
I've never been like that.
But your working space is your working space too, though, right? So I see both sides of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I just came and I sat in, and I'm watching you work with him, and this is the first time I seen someone be next level perfectionist. Music Soul Child.
Oh yeah.
Different.
And I'm sitting there listening to him do the same thing perfectly
100 times.
100 times over, and I'm like, this is insane.
He would not stop.
And you know what I would do? I'll go back when you get done. You done? Are you finished? You can sing it some more if you want. You done? All right.
That's exactly
Got it.
what you did.
When he gone, I go back to the very first thing he did. Like, okay, that's the one I wanted the whole time. But that's just the way you gotta let people do that.
His process is ill.
No. It was amazing though. But I also appreciated your patience as a producer.
Oh yeah.
Because there are producers who get in the way of the artist's creativity and what the artist wants, and not understanding that it's the artist's record. It's their record.
Their pictures going on there. I got a little line in the back with my name on it. That's Tank on there.
Yeah.
But there aren't a lot of producers, especially at a high level.
Yeah.
That will still allow that. Right?
That'll still allow that. Like,
well, because the producer became like an artist. They were just as big.
Yeah,
like there's a reason why I don't have an identifiable sound. Like we mentioned Timbo, we mentioned Pharrell and all these guys, Dre, even Bink, Ye, they got these sounds. Like when the record come on, man, that's a Just Blaze record.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or that's a
I
never had that.
You can't pick out a Warryn Campbell record.
I never had that.
You can't.
Because they are Gucci, Louis Vuitton, like a brand. I'm a tailor. It's a difference. When the artist comes to me, I'm going to tailor make the suit to you. It's going to be at the level of Gucci, but it's going to be only yours. And when we get done doing this, we're going to break the mold because nobody else is going to have that sound but you.
Yeah.
And that's it. And I'd rather do that because I don't know if I even have the bandwidth, or it ain't the bandwidth. It's the it's not necessarily ADD, but I can't just do one thing.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, everybody in music or in entertainment has a little bit of ADD. We all
Yeah.
are ADHD. What they call it? Yeah.
But like this is my sound. What I do, I would go crazy. I got to do something different all the time. Like one day I might do a whole record. I'm just play the guitar the whole time.
Yeah.
Next thing's gonna be the drums. I got to do something different. So
that goes to my question then, because I had this experience, and I want to know if either one of y'all, and I'm sure y'all did, had this same experience. My first quote unquote hit record would be Tyrese's "I Like Them Girls." Right? I had placement before that, but that's my first hit record where people were like, "Oh shit! Like this is a record.
That's one of them.
Who wrote it?
Yeah.
Who this? Who that? Who that?" And I remember the frustration of taking these label meetings and them wanting me to write that same song again.
See that? That's what I'm talking about.
It really. And I'm a baby. I wrote that record when I was 18, I think, 18 or 19 years old, and I don't really understand it. And I still had young arrogance too.
Oh yeah,
man, they don't want these other 100. You hear these?
Yeah. You hear these?
You hear what I got for you?
They want pieces of that same song so they can put it around the industry.
Yeah.
And that's what I didn't understand. And me and my man RJ Rodney, we had these long conversations like, no, man, like just take the same, you got a hit record? and just do 500 of those. Like he was good at. I was like, I can't do it.
I'm not good at it.
I can't. He was so brilliant at that.
Yeah.
I was like, and he says, man,
No, there's a gift to that too, though.
He was like, man, this one hit record is gonna make me way more money because I'm just. I was like, I don't know how to
Because
do
these
it.
executives are going to ask for that same song.
You know how many
They're
times
gonna
I got asked for? Can we get a take you out tonight? Can I get a Shackles? I want a Shackles. I'm like, this is my comeback, and this is a real answer. This is what I believe. I tell everybody, I didn't write that song. God writes songs. I take dictation. That's it. It's a download. Like I didn't come up with that. I didn't sit down and say, let me come up with something. No, it was a download. Like I was walking around like boom, it just hit me like, oh, and I just do it. I can't come up with that on my own. I can't wake up in the morning and say, let me think of something and just, no, it's not gonna happen that way. It's always, I'm minding my business in just like a left hook, bam, like, oh, that's the idea. Let me go write it down real quick.
Yeah.
I'm taking dictation. It's a download to me. So I'm like, don't expect me to reproduce that. I can't. But I could do something and it's gonna be dope, but it's gonna be something different.
I just think it's like, for me, it's always like time and space. And so when you're making music in a time and space, it completely represents that time and space. And
True.
for me, it's just hard to go back to that life, whatever point in life that was.
Yeah.
Like I'm just not going through that anymore.
As bad as
You know
people
what I'm
want you to do it, I can't do it.
I wish I could. You know, like
Yeah.
I've recycled some drums like 2 or 3 times that I thought was cool. The under drums, emergency drums.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this could be
Those
neat.
connect the records.
Those, you know what I'm saying? Those connected records. But for the most part, I was like, I just never want to be picked out of the bunch.
Yeah.
I just want to be able to continue to make music without people feeling like they're getting something that I gave somebody else.
That's a cold
That's the thing.
financial decision, though.
It is.
Yeah.
Because I left millions on the table.
Yeah.
No, I flat out.
We have left millions on
All
the
of us.
table.
Yeah.
Like, I know for a fact.
Yeah.
I left millions of dollars on the table by wanting to be creative.
And for me, it wasn't that I would not do it. I could not. It's
I didn't want to. I didn't want to.
It was a can't. Like, I
stood in the way of it.
They used to listen. I'm
don't
talking,
do
and
that.
they'll list your records. Yeah, if you just give us one of those, maybe I deserve. And I'm like, this.
It's like, man, I don't.
I don't even date her anymore.
Man, I don't even.
Or for me, it's like I can't remember how I put that because, like you said, time and space. I was
in
doing something.
conversation.
Boom.
Like the song was in conversation. The
Yeah.
song wasn't like I was just having a conversation. I said, "Wait a minute, what did you just say?"
Right.
Oh,
The
yes.
assumption is that I happened to the song. No, the song happened to me.
you. Yeah.
It came out. It just happened to me. I don't know. I cannot tell you. Now, I do have good command of my instrument.
You're a pro.
Yeah, I know
So
what
you
I'm
know
doing.
how to dial it up if you
So I
need
can
to.
do some things,
Yeah.
but it's not going to be that.
It's not gonna
going to
be
be
that.
some another,
No, because I mean, even
variation.
when you listen to your music, honestly, bro, like where you go, it's amazing.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I
It's
appreciate
amazing.
that.
Like you said, to do a take you out to a Shackles, but then to do a Just a Friend for Mario, and then, you know what I mean, and then do a
Yeah.
God Is for Kanye or
Oh, yeah.
Homecoming for Kanye.
Oh,
Come
yeah.
on, bro. Like
Yeah,
Yeah,
those records
that's one of my favorite ones.
yeah.
are in
You'd never
completely
say the
different
same
spec-
guy
No
did those
way.
songs.
Yeah,
No way
yeah.
you're gonna say the same guy did those records.
That's just listening
Unless
to
you know.
a whole bunch of different kind of music all the time. Shout out again to my dad. He had all
Being
the
able to do, just
Yeah.
being well versed and not
Yeah.
being one dimensional.
yeah, listening to everything.
You just never know. You just never know what's going to die out.
And things happen. Like I wrote a record. I'll never forget this. Black Streets, not the last album. I think it's the second album. I can't remember. I did this record called In a Rush. Right, it was the third album. I was in a movie theater watching this movie called Sling Blade.
yeah, I know. something.
Right, Billy Bob Thornton.
Billy Bob Thornton.
John Ritter, before he passed, was in this movie. Billy Bob plays a special needs guy, and then John Ritter's character gets him together with this other special needs girl. He's gonna set him up on a date. He cooks dinner for him, and he gets overwhelmed. He says, "Whew, it came over me in a rush." And that when he said that, no, he said it hit me in a rush. I was like, oh man, I left the theater. I ran to my car. I didn't want to lose. I wrote it down, drove as fast as I could to the studio. Came over me in a rush. Now, by the time I got to the studio, it hit me in a rush. It came over me in a rush. Mm-hmm. And I started, it came over me in a rush when I realized that I love you so much that sometimes I cry, but I can't tell you why I feel what I feel inside. And I was like, things hit you. They happen to you. Right?
Yeah. No, it's like when Jeffrey Osborne came on, he was telling us about On the Wings of Love. Mm. You know what I mean? And it's
I get chills. That record right there.
Oh, special. You have a record that, to me, like, yes, your records they're in different spaces, but there's one record to me that just does not feel like a Warryn Campbell record to me at all. It's a big record for you too.
Which one?
Drew Hill, How Deep Is Your Love for Me?
Oh.
That does not feel like a Warryn Campbell record to me.
Well, that's because it's the collaboration on that.
Okay.
It's me, Dutch, and Nokio.
Oh.
Yeah. So what happened was we were...
Dutch is my guy too,
man.
man.
Shout out to
Dutch
Rick
Cousins,
Kuzan.
man. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Rick Kuzan.
Yeah.
That's the upper echelon way to say it.
It's the light-skinned version of Cousins.
That's my OG.
That's my guy.
Rick Dutch. And so we were doing Drew Hill. Remember the old Larrabee West?
Of course.
Had 2 studios in it. So we're doing Drew Hill. He's in one studio. I'm in another studio working with Woody doing this ballad, and I have a cello player in there writing out parts for the cello player. Our manager, Kenneth Creer, comes in and says, yo, they need a song for Rush Hour, da-da-da-da. The night before that, I had just recorded on a cassette tape, because this idea was these little chords. And I recorded them on a cassette, because I wanted to remember, and I had it with me. I played that for Dutch. He was like, that's dope. So Dutch did the drums, and I played that stuff on top of it, and the bass, and I brought the cello player over, and I wrote some cello parts. And
I wrote some cello parts.
She did that. And
I need
then
to write some cello parts.
Nokio was in there writing.
Hey, people didn't know how dope of a producer Nokio was.
Oh, Nokio's a beast, man. Nokio was really dope.
Super talented.
So all those 3 brain powers, that's why it doesn't sound like me by myself, because, the backbeat usually gives the identity, the drums, for R&B, it's like,
That's Dutch.
That's Dutch all day.
Okay.
All day long.
I just picked that out of the records of all the records. I was just like, that one feels less.
Yeah, it's like it's a amalgamation of 3 brains. And then when you get to the part where there's Redman on that record, on the original.
Wait, Redman's on the
Redman's on the original record. When they shot the video in Hong Kong, because that album was on the Rush Hour soundtrack.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, Redman at the time couldn't lead the country. For some, I don't know what was going on.
He's a rapper.
Yeah, most rappers couldn't lead the country.
Yeah,
for whatever reason.
Now they letting him in. They let him in now.
This is 98, 99.
Nah, I remember.
So they called me and said,
we're forming the underdogs at that time. Yeah.
That's right.
Kenneth Creer used to come. I want to say he might have been halfway managing Damon for a minute, because he used to always pop in.
That's when Suge used to come to the gate.
Nah, that's before.
That's before that?
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. I remember driving by, and so I'm like, Simon, we used to call him Simon. Simon,
yeah.
He was standing outside his car just talking to somebody. I was like, I just kept driving. I don't know what's going on over there.
I don't know what's going on.
Because I live right next door. I'm like, I'm just keep driving. Then Damon told me later what happened. But anyway, shout out to Damon Thomas and Harvey Mason. But they go to Hong Kong to shoot the video. Mm-hmm. And Redman can't go, so they need a bridge. So they called me and said, we need you to come to Hong Kong. I was like, Hong Kong? Okay.
Why you saying it like that?
They flew me to Hong Kong to do the bridge. To Hong Kong.
To Hong Kong. Man.
Yeah, we come to Hong Kong.
Sound like the OG that was in the war. I got a couple kids over there in Hong Kong. What?
I got a couple youngers in Hong Kong.
I definitely got an uncle that might got a couple kids in Hong Kong.
I was in the bush in Hong Kong.
I was in the bush.
67 over there. I did a couple tours in Hong Kong.
Hong Kong.
That's the type of tour you did.
Yeah, I went over there, did the bridge. That was an amazing time, and man, it was just, that record was my first number 1. And it just, what it did was a set off in my mind who I was or who I could be in the industry. It gave me a sense of value, like that they would call me to come over there because Dutch was there. You know, Nokia, they was all there. And I guess maybe they left me. I don't know. I was like, they didn't need me for that. But they was like, no, you got to come and do it. I was like, y'all need me? I was like, oh, cool. So I felt needed. And I realized like, oh, people need me for certain things, you know. And being that I was young, I might have took that a little too far because it went from that to being just, everybody goes through this arrogant phase, especially when money comes into play. I'm 23 at the time, and I'm 23, and I just made my first $1 million. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, it's a different thing happening in my life, you know. So I'm walking in rooms going, yeah, I'm probably better than everybody here. I'll never say it. I don't even act like that. But in my mind, yeah, I'm the best there is.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I wake up in the morning and piss excellence.
Oh,
Excellence.
You know, that was
Excellence.
Yeah. You
that
had your
caused me
moment.
to miss out on a lot of things as well. I remember during that time, Michael Jackson's doing an Invincible album. Rodney's like, he's like, man, we doing this, and he's showing me videos of him and Mike, and I'm like, dang, it's crazy. So I had this song that they wanted to cut, and they asked me to carve out 30 days. I said, 30 days to do one song? He wants to work just to be available. I was like, you know, I hate it. I hate that this happened. I said, man, I ain't 30 days with Michael Jackson. That last Blood on the Dance Floor album didn't even sell no records. I ain't none of that.
Oh, you went through
well,
that.
I ain't doing, you know.
Yeah.
You know how much money I can make in 30 days? I was doing that and never, you know, did it. And Mike ain't here no more. And I could have had a chance to sit in the room with this guy.
Sit in the room.
Even if he only showed up, because my thing is, I'm going to carve out 30 days. He going to probably show up 3 of them days.
Right.
And just have me sitting in there. That's what I was thinking, you know.
No, you're probably right.
Yeah. But even the 3 days, just to have a chance to, you know, sit with that cat. So, man, that's why I work with any legend like that. That's why I work with Stevie now. I've been working with Stevie 8 years on this same album. We probably been doing this album for 8 years, probably got 6 songs done, you know, but.
You said in 8 years?
Yeah, like, it's a movie with this dude. Like, oh, it's crazy. It's crazy.
So do you think that at some point he's going to fight Tank if they come across each other? Because you know Tank been talking about how he can see. So
we've had conversations about it.
About him fighting Tank?
No, about people saying he can see.
I'm about to say,
he
set it up.
Oh yeah, oh definitely.
He did what he said.
What did he say?
Well, here's the thing. This is how it came up. Because, you know, when you're blind, you can hear everything.
Amazing, yeah.
But he says, that's BS. I can't hear better just because I can't say. I said, well, how would you know? You don't know. You never seen. You hear, and so I have a little Nerf ball in my hand. And so he's going on, I can't, so I just threw it at him. He goes, because he hears it coming. He's like,
before it got to him?
Yeah, he hears something. He's like, but I'm like, oh yeah, he can't see, but he can hear that coming. Or, case in point, we're in the studio playing around. So if you
you can't skip over it. You can't skip over it.
So no, he cannot see.
You can't skip over it.
He's like, he's like, oh.
Hey man, no way,
something
bro.
wrong with you, man. It's something wrong with you.
I said, see, if you threw that at me, I would have just got hit. If my eyes are closed.
Oh man.
But, you know.
Okay, 'cause I know he knows you do this, but who was coming in the session when you played blind that day? It was at the studio.
Marcus Houston.
It was Marcus Houston. Man,
Wait, what?
I told you about
I'm
that.
lost.
I was there.
You was there?
I was
oh,
there.
shoot. Okay.
Y'all gotta fill me in on this.
Okay, so
God.
I'm getting ready to work with Marcus Houston one day, and that's crazy. He was there. So I tell my engineer, because I've never met him. I never met him before.
Okay.
I think I might have went to high school with one of his brothers or a family member or something, but I don't know him. And so I said, you know what? I'm gonna make him think I'm blind. So I put the glasses. I don't know why. You know, when I meet people for the first time, I always like to do a prank, like an icebreaker, like, you know, like, yes, that's what I be doing. So I put the glasses on. I told my engineer, just go with me. And so it's him. It's the other dude that was an immature too, LDB.
LDB, yeah.
He's in there. Yeah. And so I'm like, he's right there. I'm like, Marcus, how you doing, man? I'm like, hey, what's going on, man? You know, And I can see, I got my eyes open. I can see them. Their reaction like,
Yeah.
he flying. And so they go in the little lounge. We had American. They go in the little lounge and they're looking at a baseball game. And I said, hey, lead me to the bathroom. To my engineer, he's walking me through. I said, y'all good? Y'all good? He's like, yeah, we good. And I stopped. I took my glasses off, and I said, the guy was running around the bases on the baseball game. I said, man, that nigga running fast. Marcus was like this. He said, oh. And I was on the floor like, hey, you really thought I was blind? And so he had a manager named Junior Regiford.
Junior Regiford.
Oh, yeah.
Junior wasn't there yet. Now, Junior knows I'm not blind, right? So he said, you got to get Junior. I said, all right. So Junior finally comes to the studio. I got the glasses on, and I'm doing the whole blind thing. I can see him going like, what? Oh, my God. What? I said, so my car, I never got a truck. I said, hey, I made up the story. Bruce, my engineer, did my wife leave the car here? She dropped the car. Where'd she go? Yeah, she left the car in the back. I said, I got someone to play out, but it's in the car. Can y'all get in the car? We're in the parking lot at the back of the studio. We get in there. I'm like, where's this? Now, turn it up. Boom. I'm in the driver's seat to turn the car on. I put the car in reverse and just took off. She was like, oh! And I said, gotcha. And he was like, oh my God.
Something's wrong with you, man.
No, I was at the one, it maybe wasn't Marcus Houston, when you started playing the keys and everything. Like, you was just like, this is what I'm feeling. Like, this shit really. And I was just sitting there like.
Did that too. Were you in? Did you think I was blind at the time?
No, like, it was by that time it was the one behind Lancashire. It wasn't American. It was the one you had.
My studio.
Your studio.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was at that one.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've done it several times.
And I just didn't say nothing. I was like,
the fact that you do that and then you're also super cool with Stevie Wonder, it makes it even. It just makes the stories even better.
It's not what you think. It's just, man, it's jokes all day. It's like we was slapboxing the other day. Yeah. If you just talk.
Man.
He got you.
Pow! He gonna find it. Pow! We playing hot hand. It's like he just, you know.
No, the senses. Are just,
he just can't see, but everything else, he just, you know.
Regular.
Like he can tell you, you talk, he'll tell you what sign you are.
What?
Yes. What's January?
I'm Capricorn. January 1st.
He'd be like, oh, I can hear it in your voice. You Capricorn. What's your birthday?
I could hear it in your voice. You're a Capricorn.
He can tell. He said it's some little thing, or he can
I
tell.
need one of them sessions.
No, he can tell. Like you be talking like, oh, recently he did the house full of toys. My sister wasn't feeling too good. She was singing background. They was rehearsing at the studio. He calls me in the morning. Yeah, we're not going to be to use your sister on this one. I'm like, why? He said, she's sick. I said, sick? What you mean she's sick? Yeah, man, she's sick. She's sick. I said, let me call you back. I called her. I said, Joy, you sick? She was like, no, I ain't sick. She was like, you know, I was freezing last night in the studio, but I ain't sick. I said, Stevie said you're sick. And she said, I don't know why we said I was sick. I said, just go take a COVID test just in case. She took a COVID test and she had COVID.
No way.
Man.
I'm not kidding you.
We got to get Stevie on here. Stevie.
Uncle Steve.
I'm apologizing for Tank.
I didn't do nothing.
He been out here spreading rumors about you being able to see.
Said, oh, that's nonsense.
That he can see?
No, yeah. He said, that's nonsense. But he can hear. He can hear just better than we can see.
But I equate it to, and I keep explaining this, to sonar. To where the vibrations of the things around him make him very aware of structural surroundings.
Right. Like when you said he caught that football.
He didn't catch it. He just knew it was coming. He was like, he just moved like.
Don't let Jay.
I ain't never say that.
Don't.
Warryn Campbell said.
Warryn Campbell did not say. The statements
That's the
made by J
headline for the
Valentine, J
Shade Room.
Valentine, and J Valentine's alone.
Warryn Campbell said he was playing catch.
Warryn Campbell said he shoot threes.
I seen the free throw. I did see that video.
What? He made it?
No.
Oh, I was gonna say.
Why you say no like he ain't got a chance? That's crazy, Jay.
If
Stevie not gonna come if you act like this,
Jacob,
man.
Can you edit the part that album they might sue us for because we don't own it? But if it's possible, can you edit
The
Stevie
3-point
Wonder
shot.
shooting the free throw into this episode?
That'll be
please?
great. What do you feel like with everything that you've done is, I mean, I won't say greatest accomplishment, but one of those moments where you like, you felt immensely proud and you felt like you had maybe accomplished a goal that you felt like was far in reach and you really put in a real grind to make that thing happen.
You know, I'm not certain. I've had so many of those moments.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not certain there's one that stands out. There's certain things that happen where I'm like, you know, I'm very proud to be a part of whatever this thing is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, say, like the inception of J Records. That just before that, Clive Davis was still at Arista, and I had a meeting with him at Arista and played them records, and it just didn't go well.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kept trying. And so now he's starting J Records. They weren't even in offices yet. They were at the Waldorf in New York. On the floors in the Waldorf are alphabetical. He was on the J floor. And I went there and played them records. And this time, he's like, I like these. I just kept going. I remember having this sort of bulldog tenacity about writing better records. Got with Harold. Me and Harold went to my studio. We wrote all these records. I mean, a lot of them. I'm like, yeah, I just had this really, I was zeroed in and focused on that. And to get there, and he pretty much bought all of them.
Really?
Wow.
Changed my life.
Everything you and Harold Lilly wrote.
It was stuff we wrote. It was other records. Some was just tracks,
Yeah.
but like he gave me an overall deal in
Like,
the
I
room.
want it.
Yeah, like, and I became one of the go-to guys. Like, you know, if I didn't leave and go to Elektra, I'm sure I would have been an A&R at a J Records.
At J Records, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's how it was going. Shout out to Clive and at the time Larry Jackson and Ron Gilliard, very instrumental in that. But like that was one thing. Second to that is this last run with Kanye, with the Donda album. That was something for me. That just to witness how he was doing it. This dude had masterminds in the room. He calls me. I'm in the pool playing with my kids. The phone rings. He's like, yo, can you come to San Francisco? I'm like, when? He was like, now. I was like, all right. So they at the St. Regis. Is it St. Regis? Some high-end hotel in San Francisco. He has pretty much the whole thing booked up. All the ballrooms are blocked out. He has, you know, food and beverage is how they make the money at the hotels. He commandeered the kitchens. He had his own cooks in there cooking the food. It was crazy. What? It was crazy. But I walk in the room, and there's they put those like tables, long tables from one end to the room and the ballroom to the other, with just rows and rows of guys producing with all laptops, making beats and headphones. There's 88 Keys there. Bink is there. This guy, and over in the corner, Rick Rubin is sitting right there. I'm like, what the heck is going on? Singers over here, and then one ballroom had just closed in. He's just doing all this stuff, right? I walk in, he stops, he hugs me. Oh man, now we about to get it. No, right. I was like, okay. Like, what the heck is going on? So he starts playing me stuff. Like, what you hear on this? And I get on. He has an organ in there. I start playing the organ. Blah blah blah. And to go through that process and then be involved in the conversations and the value that he placed on my ideas, not just beats, because he was like, okay, I got this record. How do I turn this? How do I make this gospel? Right? So the record at the time was called Jail. That's what we just won the Grammy for. He goes, guess who's going to jail tonight? How do I make a gospel? I said, you got to say, God's going to post my bail tonight. He took off running like, yeah, did you hear what he just said? I'm like, that's how I got on the record. I'm like, oh, okay, now. Fast forward.
That's a special line.
Wow.
Yeah, it was dope. And then 3 days later, we're now going to a church because he wants to put pipe organs on everything on the album. So myself and Corey Henry, Ye and Rick Rubin, we're all in a Sprinter, a Maybach minivan, right? Driving to you might know what this. Well, I don't know if you would know because you're from San Francisco.
Don't start doing this, man.
It's a church.
It's a
I'm
church.
just saying. You ain't gonna,
See how they treat me?
I'm just saying it's a big old Catholic church. Why would you know what it is?
What's the name of it?
I can't remember.
Because he said, "What's the name?" I might have walked past.
I might have walked past. I might have been through there a couple of times.
You know? Is it on top of the hill?
Everything's on top of the hill in San Francisco. But it ain't far from. You ever been to Brenda's?
Yes, I know what church you're talking about.
Yeah, it ain't far from Brenda's.
I know what your church is talking about because that church is very famous in San Francisco.
It's one of them.
And that's where I had my father's funeral at.
Wow.
See?
Okay.
They let players pull up.
They let players pull up.
I repent to J Valentine.
Yeah.
He knows where one church is at least.
They looked out for us because we needed the biggest church in San Francisco.
And it's giant.
Yeah. Oh no, I was there.
So when I get there, it's mics everywhere. It's like he had the whole thing mic'd up. I'm playing. I'm like, the mind is amazing. So in the car on the way, he's like on his phone. He's like, yo. So me and him sitting in the back. He goes, hey, I got Jay-Z. He said he gonna get on the record. Which record should he get on? Of course, I'm gonna say the record I just
right, of course.
Because I hadn't done nothing else. I was like, Jail. He was like, Rick, what you think? He was like, no, actually, that's a good idea, Jail. I was like, yes.
Yeah.
I've never, as long as I've been in this game, I've been wanting to do a record on Jay-Z so bad. Mm-hmm. I've come so close. Like he even spit on one before, and it didn't make the album. I'm like, oh my God. So finally, Jay's gonna get in his record. And I didn't even do the beat. I just wrote that line. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I'm a part of it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And so that's one moment, that I can. I wish it was my beat or whatever, but I was just a part. My name was listed, written by Sean Carter, and my name is in there. I'm like, that's dope.
Yeah.
I like that.
But you have technically
What do you mean?
a Jay-Z record.
Oh yeah, there's technicality to that thing. So,
Cause I'm like,
We heard.
there's records.
are we moving into the segment now?
I'm asking you a question because you said you always wanted a record with Hov, but technically you had it from the Take You Out record.
Yeah, but I wanted a beat that I did. He spit on that beat.
Okay.
There's one beat that I gave him. He did a song. It was like Friends with Privileges or something he wrote. Mm-hmm. It was killing. I was like, man, I heard it in the studio. I was like, dang, that's dope. It didn't make the. He's like, yeah, it ain't gonna make it though. I'm like, dang. But yeah, Take You Out tonight there's a story there.
We've had Harold Lilly on the podcast.
We have.
Oh, so then we can talk about this.
You know what I mean? And you guys are the backstory to that record.
So, 3 guys. We call ourselves the Troika. Warryn Campbell, Harold Lilly, John Jubu Smith.
Yes, okay.
We've done some amazing records together. Take You Out Tonight was done in my parents' house. Harold wrote it. Matter of fact, when you hear the record, that's Harold's backgrounds on the back. He told you the story about the bowling alley.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was crazy. And so I'm in New York. At the time, I had just moved to New York. I had a place in New York. And a friend of mine, I was working at Elektra Records as vice president. I was the VP there. And a friend of mine and my manager at the time, Jay Brown, was the senior vice president. Mm-hmm. He says to me, what do you want to do besides this? I said, man, I need to go back and start fooling with the hip hop again because, I feel like I done got away from it. I said, let's just start at the top. I don't know his connection with Jay-Z like that. I don't know that they're boys. I don't know that Jay-Z was in his wedding.
Yeah.
Right.
And Dame and Bink. These guys are they're boys. I have no idea. All right. So that night or sometime around there, we go up to Baseline in New York, Jay-Z studio. I meet a guy there named Hip Hop. man, shout out to hip hop. And another guy named G Roberson. All these guys are there. And I'm playing them beats for Jay-Z. I'm in the room with Jay-Z playing them beats. And he's like, I see him scrunch his face up on a couple of them beats. I'm like, ooh, this is a great feeling for me.
Yeah.
This is like, man, you know. So he starts playing me something. I'm like, that's crazy. Then he plays this one record. He says, excuse me, miss, what's your name? I was like, I said, you know, I did that song. I said, what song? I said, the Luther Vandross record, Take You Out Tonight. He was like, because we had just talked about Just a Friend right before that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So he's like, oh, and just the way he thinks, the way he puts things together in his mind, he says, oh, so you got the oldest dude in the game and the youngest dude in the game hot at the same time. So I would never put that together like that. But yeah, he's a genius marketing mind. So I said, yeah, I did that record. He was like, but listen, man, don't kill me on it, man. Somebody get Big John on the phone. I said, I can get him on the phone. He's my publisher too, right? Jay Brown was like, yo, we about to go to this party. We're gonna go somewhere. So I had a driver. For whatever reason, they get in my car with me, right? We driving, we go, stop by this party for a second, then we leave there and go to, Blue Ribbon.
Yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's my spot.
Yeah.
Walking Blue Ribbon. In the middle of the restaurant, sitting alone by himself, is Big John. Already in New York. I don't even know he's there. Like, Big J. I'm walking. Mind you, I'm in the middle of renegotiating my deal with EMI. So he sees me. I'm walking in with Jay Brown and Jay-Z. And he's like, yo, we all sit down and kick it, whatever, you know. To my knowledge, it was a surprise. Like, we didn't know, he was going to be there. So I'm like, okay. We kick it for a minute, whatever, we eat, whatever. Go on about our business. Maybe a couple weeks later, I'm back in LA. I'm in Big John's office. He tells me, yo, it's on you. Do what you want to do. But, Hov said if you just let this slide, he'll owe you. He'll owe you a favor. I said, and immediately, my immediate thought was, what would I want? A favor? What kind of favor? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You gonna co-sign or something for me? A favor? I don't need.
Help me get a car.
Yeah. What do I like? And at the time, my immediate thought was like, what do I need from Jay-Z?
Right.
Like, I don't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Plus the arrogance kicked in my back a little bit.
Yeah.
I know he got money. You ain't the only nigga with money.
Yeah.
We all rich, right? That's what I'm thinking. But I wasn't thinking in terms of like, oh, maybe he might do a feature on something, or maybe he's Jay-Z. Maybe I can have him wear one of my Ernest Paul hoodies.
Yeah. Come on, Ernest Paul.
To the. This is my grandfather. Shout out Ernest Paul.
Yeah.
Maybe go to the game with Beyonce, sit courtside in a hoodie for me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I just kind of years and years later. And the funny thing is, I never even brought this up to Harold. Never even, because Harold just said out of the blue, like, nah, I don't want to pursue it. Because Harold owns the lion's share of the record. He owns 50%, I only own 25. Jubu owns 25. Mm-hmm. Sad part is nobody offered Jubu anything, a favor or nothing. He just like, oh, I ain't. I said, well, I guess you had to be signed to Big John.
Sitting there like this.
Like, this is me. This is my record too.
This is me, man.
Yeah. So years later, I don't even know why me and Harold was talking about it. I tell him the story. He said, wait a minute. He tells me the exact same type of story. He said, man, I went, Big John, Big John every year, I don't know if he still does this, but he would go to Denver. He's from Denver. He was born in Philly, but he was raised in Denver. So he would drive to Denver every year, just take a drive out there. So it wasn't nothing for him to say, hey man, come to Denver with me. Like, we'll go out to Denver and talk to some kids or whatever. So he was like, Big John said, I'm going to Denver, come to Denver with me. He was like, all right. So we get to Denver. He was like, oh man, Jay-Z having a concert here. Let's go to the concert. I said, oh man, okay. Then he says, man, then they take me. We in the hotel room hanging out with Jay-Z that night and da-da-da-da. Man, I'm kicking. I was like, this is crazy. And then the next day he was like, well, he said he'll owe you something if he, a favor. I'm like, We sitting there going, wait a minute. How did this? Oh man, play like a fiddle, boy. I tell you, play like a fiddle. Now, it may not. It could have been like I could say it was sinister and intentional, or it could be just a coincidence. Who knows? Everybody involved is brothers to me.
Yeah.
So everybody involved, we done made a lot of money together.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't say Jay Brown, excluding Jay-Z because I don't know him, but like not like that. You know what I mean? But Jay Brown and Big John. That's family. Like I'm in Big John's wedding. He's in my wedding.
Yeah.
That's we boys. But like it just seemed it was like a weird epiphany to have 20 years later. Me and Harold looking at each other going,
I think you call in the favor.
still to this day, I'm not sure.
Let's try it. You produce it. Harold writes it.
Yeah.
I sing it.
Oh, we coming out of retirement.
You're not Jubu, man.
And let's get Jubu in here too.
Jubu.
My fault, Jubu. Let's get Jubu in here
Get Jun
to be part of this.
in here.
You know what I'm saying? I sing
The
it.
legend.
And then we go after Jay-Z together.
Say, Jay, you promised.
I'm not in
But what I do know is,
Promise, man.
what I hear about Jay-Z, because I don't know him well. I'm like, just, if we see each other, like, hey, man, what's up? That kind of thing. But
Yeah.
I hear he's a really, really stand-up dude, like man of his word type of cat.
Yeah.
But 20 years ago, I mean,
why not?
that was 2001.
But okay, but is it on y'all if y'all haven't called in y'all favor?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. Let's
Because
call
if I've
in-
ever told somebody I owe them a favor, I
do
got
it.
you.
Let's call in the favor, man. I'll come out of retirement.
You keep
Hey, man.
saying let's in.
I feel like we together.
should.
It's our
It's
favorite.
our favor. I was signed to EMI with Big John.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I talk to him a lot.
Yeah, I'm at this point, I'm like, man.
I
Let
think
me get a
Jay-Z
favor.
said
Let
to
me
me
get-
one time, like, if you need anything, call me. I think he said
You
that.
think he said
think
that?
he said-
Hey, Jay, let me hold that Bosky out.
I think he said that.
I'm
I don't know.
I'm sure you got a few Basquiats, man.
At one point, I was thinking about it, and somebody told me that name I can't say. It's like, nah, man, you can't do that. It'll make you look bad if you try to, ask for a favor. Now I was like, that's because he don't owe you no favor. You say
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
it ain't you. But yeah, maybe one of these days I'll be like, oh, you know what? Maybe it would be dope. 25. We're gonna put out another Mary Mary record. It's gonna be the 25th year anniversary. It'd be dope to have Hov on the record. Maybe we ask him to spit 8, 12, 16, something like that.
Tank's dream is
and
just
then
been
and
crushed.
then we put Tank on the ad libs. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. You not cool with that favor?
on the ad lib. No, you don't know.
However I can be a part.
Or you can write the record with us. Okay.
Take what I can get. Yeah, it's fine. No, I want to be on the ad-libs. I got to be in the video. I got to be.
Oh, that's great.
Give me the ad-lib. Before we move on to this next segment, I gotta ask you about the Walls group.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Yes. The Walls group. Probably it's 4 kids. I can't say kids. They older now. When I met them, when I met the Walls group, they were teenagers, and they were signed to Kirk Franklin. And they did an album with him. And the second album, they invited me to come and produce that album, and I did. Just on the love. They didn't have a big budget or anything, but I was like, I love these kids so much. I'm talking like, okay, so remember you got the Jackson 5. That's a family group,
Right.
But it's really Michael Jackson
Really?
and the Jackson 5.
With the immense amount of talent. Yeah,
He was
Yeah.
he held the lion's share of the
sure.
talent, for sure. Then there was Jermaine, then Tito, then Jackie. People know Jackie could sing. Jackie had a solo record. We sung falsetto the whole record. So you had
You
that.
also could still dunk a basketball at 60 years old.
Who?
It was very weird. Yeah.
Jackie?
Jackie, yeah.
But have you ever seen Jackie? Jackie's ripped.
Ripped.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man, Jackie
Yeah.
will break your neck, man. He ain't playing.
Yeah.
He ain't out here playing no game.
Nah, he big bro for real.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's big bro.
But this group is like having 4 Michaels in one group. It's everybody in this
No,
group
they cold. They cold. They cold.
is they could do whatever they want by themselves. But now it's like having a super, it's like having Jordan, Magic, Kareem, LeBron, yeah, all on one team.
I'm surprised you said Jordan before you said Magic. I'm gonna let you finish.
Yeah,
though,
that was,
I know you really well.
That was a Freudian slip because I would never do that.
I know you really well
because it's Magic first,
man. I've known you for a long time. Don't edit that out. This man said Jordan first, but go ahead, finish.
That was a Freudian slip.
No,
Freudian slip.
That's just the truth.
What happens?
You just said the truth. But go ahead.
I mean, I got on Jordans right now too. I am a Jordan fan.
You don't have on them Magic Converse.
I do have some though.
I'm sure you have some.
I don't wear them. They in the thing. So this group, they just do it all, man. This album, they're signed to my label now. The first album I did on them, they were signed to Kirk Franklin through RCA, and now they're with my block.
So you stole them from Kirk?
No, I didn't steal them, but I did tell Kirk when I did the last album, they were signed to him. I told him, I said, when you're done, I'm signing them. I don't care when it is. I don't care if they're 50. I'm signing this group. He was like, you really love these kids like that? You love them? Yeah. I was like, I love these kids.
Yeah.
I said, man, the reason why I love them is the same reason I love Mary, because I have no creative limits with working with them. Mm-hmm. Whatever I can imagine or fathom in my mind creatively, Mary can do. I don't care what I come up with. Yeah. They got me. They covered. Same thing with these kids. No matter, rap, spit, black, this kind of classical, doesn't matter.
It's gas on that album.
How much you heard the whole thing?
I've heard, I think 3 or 4 songs.
Man, did he play the first song with Teddy Riley?
Yes.
Yeah.
What's the one with like almost like, is that the one with like the New Jack Swing?
Yeah, that's the first song on the album.
That's the one I wanted to be the first single.
Ooh. Well, we the single was out already when we did that song.
Let me tell you something. That record right there?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's look like crazy as a single, right? That record right there is so out of control. But what blew me away was Human Nature.
Oh yeah.
The way you produced that and the way he sang that was so crazy. Like it was so crazy. It was so crazy. I said, you have to let me have that record.
And so that's when I get a call. We need to lift the vocals up a little higher, maybe a dB and a half. I was like, really? So I did it. Now I get here today and said, oh, Tank told me, is the one that told me.
I was like, I need to hear. And when he sent it to me, I'm listening to it, and I'm like, I only got one ear, but it's a good ear, right? So I'm like, you got to come up. Because I can hear what he's doing in some of those nuanced movements that he's doing with the music.
Yeah.
But if you're not listening for it, you'll think it's an instrument.
But let me tell you how good your ear is. When we did it, my engineer called me. He was like, "Yo, this is the right move. It sounds so much better." He said, "No, this like it." He said, "I don't know why, but it's just perfect now."
He got the super senses now, and maybe Stevie can teach you sign language.
So what happened when I know one sign I want to give you right now. I'm not going to do it because we supposed to be brothers.
Maybe
I had to let Chris Brown hear it.
Oh wow!
I said, I know you can appreciate this. He said, who the hell is that?
Yeah.
And I showed him his page, and I said, these new killers are out of control. And I played some stuff from his page. He said, he's a monster,
man.
So I can't wait for that. I can't wait for that to drop.
Aja, all of them are amazing, man. Just like Paco is like, man, they're just really good. It's really, I've never seen nothing like this. And we do shows like my thing is about family. I watched. In the Motown era, I watched and studied that, and I wanted to model that. And so with my label, we do a lot of things together. Say like Easter this year, we're doing My Block Does Easter at the Kennedy Center. It's gonna be the Walls group. I got a girl named Lena Bird Miles out of Oakland. She's crazy. Go check that out. And Mary. Yeah, gonna do the Kennedy Center, man, this Easter. It's gonna be crazy. We do things as a group. We did Central Park in the summertime, summer stage, and just put shows together where they do stuff together, man. It's unbelievable. It's like it's not even fair. Yeah. It's not fair at all, but That's the way I like to do
Daryl
it.
was my little brother in this movie we just shot.
Oh yeah, he was telling me about it.
Yeah. So I'm the pastor.
Oh wow.
You know what I'm saying? And he's my little brother, who's also, but he's a professional gospel singer.
Oh,
You know
gotcha.
what I mean? And we end up singing together, doing songs together, trying to
Oh,
save
that's
the church.
dope.
Like it was a vibe.
That's
And it
dope.
was crazy because the guy who was supposed to play me, he was actually the singing voice for that actor. And then
Oh.
I end up last minute, like 3 days before we start shooting, getting a call to do the role.
That's
Did
because
you have to
you're
go
a
through
legend over
You
there,
had to
man.
do the pre-records, or did you?
I had to record while I was filming.
Oh wow.
So
you wouldn't get no sleep.
no, I
that's
it
Denzel.
This
In that space?
yeah, it's Denzel.
Denzel.
Oh, okay.
Denzel.
I didn't know
Call me
that.
You
Denzel
want
for
to
sure.
give me a rundown? Well,
Give me the rundown.
The Lifetime.
Oh yeah,
the
yeah.
BT,
Lifetime, BT,
Oh,
Tubi.
You know what I'm saying? TV One, TV One. Yeah,
listen.
I'm high up.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
I ain't been in nothing. So
On those
to
platforms,
me, that is Denzel Jr.
Yeah, on those
man.
platforms, you ain't
TV
gonna
One.
find a better actor. You understand what I'm saying?
Listen, I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah,
I got you.
I'm lifting it back up. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Because don't get put on a t-shirt.
okay. I got lines.
That's a classic line.
Yeah.
Don't get put on the t-shirt.
No, because man tried to walk up on me like, we going back and forth, ad-libbing or whatever. He said, yeah, we're gonna mess around and get put on a t-shirt. And I said, yeah, make sure it's 100% cotton.
Hey, almost broke my TV when I watched.
Make sure it's
Almost
100% cotton.
threw.
Now, did they write that or you just
said it?
Oh,
That's
that's
him.
Denzi.
That's it. That's Denzi.
That's Denzi. You understand what I'm saying? Denzi Washington. Oh, you get me?
That's what I'm talking
All right,
about.
Warren, while we got you here, man. Don't take up too much of your time.
What you got going over there, man?
You got
What you
labels.
got going on?
You got labels. You got
Oh,
clothing
man,
lines.
listen.
you got-
Just
you
give us a bar about Ernest Paul as well, bro.
Ernest Paul, I'm glad you asked. This is my clothing line. This is just a promotional piece. The line is not hoodies. It's like these pants are Ernest Paul pants. Most of our
Oh,
wear is Ernest
you
Paul.
wore your own clothes here today.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, like a
Ernest
real
Paul is
player.
my grandfather, right? And so back in the I'm just gonna say 30s. That's when radio was just as big as TV. My grandfather was set up to be, or getting ready to be, the Jackie Robinson of radio, right?
Wow.
The first black on-air personality at NBC Radio.
Wow.
He shows up, he gets the job, he has an amazing speaking voice. Reads the news, sports, and the weather. Does an amazing job. He leaves, 2 white men walk up to him, and they mention his mother's name. Your mother's Daisy Campbell, right? Yeah. If you show up here tomorrow, we're going over here, we're going to kill her. Over in the Bronx, blah, 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 blah. They gave the address and everything. Don't show up. They were like, because they ain't having no black men on radio. They didn't want to see it. And my grandfather said, that's during the time when the white man told you something like that, you believed him. So he said, I quit. And he drove buses for 30 years, right? In New York and in LA. So because of that, he instilled in me and my father, it's my dad's dad, don't you ever let nobody, I don't care who it is, tell you what you can't do.
Can't do.
I mean, drilled it into us, drilled it. And so this is just like and the lamb on here, people think, that's a lamb. The guy said, no, my grandfather's an amazing cook. Every first Sunday he cooked lamb chops. That was his thing,
Yeah.
And so I did this just to remember him, and then it turned into a whole line. I said, his name's Ernest Paul Campbell. This is like a fly thing.
Yeah.
But it's just, just a reminder, like, man, I could do whatever
you want.
if it enters into my mind. If I can think it, if it's a thought, it can be done. It don't even matter what it is. I don't care how outlandish the thought is, how lofty the idea is. If it enters into my cerebral cortex and I can visualize it, that means I can do that. I could do that. And so that's what Ernest Paul represents.
That's amazing. So when is it releasing? When is it releasing?
This year.
It's coming this year.
So you'll see a bunch of hoodies this year.
Okay.
So everybody gets, familiar with what the brand is, and then next year you start seeing the jackets and the pants and the, the sweaters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, congratulations, bro.
Thank you, man.
What you got, Chief? Oh, he trying to add sauce cause Warryn Campbell here. You don't usually be doing all that.
Tank brought his hands on him. They got your hands with you today.
The hands team is here, man.
Good E flat.
I know you have perfect pitch. Thanks.
I have relative
Floss
pitch.
today is just out of control. Top 5.
How you like that note?
Top 5.
You see my sway?
Your top 5. Your top 5. Oh, your top 5.
You went Billy Joel on us.
He gonna go there.
I wanna know who's your top 5. Your top 5. Your top 5.
That's saucy. That's saucy right there.
Your top 5. Did you say 5?
I did.
His top 5 what?
But I wanted to hit.
Top 5.
I said 5 because 5 is the 5th degree in that key. To B flat. No, B flat. 5. Yeah, that's the 5th.
Yeah, I have no
That's
idea.
the flat 5.
What y'all talking about.
A.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
Y'all want to teach me this
So
sign language?
1 is E flat. And kind of go to major scale up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You said top 5. I said 5. That's why I hit that note because it's the 5th degree. That's nerd crap, man. Sorry.
Y'all speaking alien.
Why are you looking at me like that?
I ain't said nothing.
You looking at me like I just cussed you out.
No, because you took me back to a time where I was at Morgan State. And we'll get you the top 5. It was at Morgan State, and I got a full scholarship from Dr. Carter. Right, Dr. Carter.
Morgan State. That's in Baltimore?
Yeah, Baltimore.
Did you know Mashika?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Big classical school.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we did, right? And so I have, Dr. Carter talked like James Brown. What you want to minor in? I was like, minor in piano, I guess. Yeah. All right, good. So he put me in class with Dr. Conway. So Dr. Conway was like, play something for me. And I'm in there.
Oh, bad form. Oh.
And everything, and I think I'm jazzing him out, right? I'm killing him. I'm like, yeah, you ain't got none of this. And he gets on, and he looks at, he said, oh, nice. Oh, nice. He sits down, he says, so you went from a 8, 9/10 to a 48th degree bar, and then the 48th. And then if you would have added an 8th right over top of your 9, then I would have really killed it. And then you go down into the. I hate this place. I hated this place. I was gone in 2 months. I was like, 2 months, gone. So anyway, your top 5.
Dead or alive?
R&B singers, male or female, dead or alive. No order.
Well, I'm going to have to talk about Anita Baker.
You better talk about it.
Yeah.
I have to talk about Anita. And we're talking about top 5. I'm gonna have to go talk to Sam Cooke. Top 5, dead or alive.
Sam.
Not just because I did the record on it, but I'm gonna have to talk to Luther.
You got to talk to him.
Come on, Luther.
You got to talk to
I
him.
recently seen something on him yesterday that made me go, man, Luther was cold. He was, without doing all that, because he was different. He didn't do all the runs and stuff. He just had the tone. That
He had
was just,
presence.
you got to go Stevie. Yeah. And I want to go to another female and just say Aretha. There's more, but cause
Yeah.
you can't. Aretha's, you can't. You know,
You're not gonna beat
Aretha,
Aretha.
because
Stevie,
there's
Sam
levels under that.
For sure.
Anita and Luther Vandross.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Good Lord.
Yeah,
Sucks.
you can't.
They should have
them sing
let you
together.
put together that 200 greatest singers list.
Ooh, yeah.
They should have, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't get called for stuff like that. They should.
None of us do.
Yeah, they don't call nobody that knows for real.
I don't know
No,
where
no,
the
no.
phone calls actually go.
There are no phone calls.
Huh?
This somebody said, I think
Those are researchers.
right.
Those aren't people from the cloth.
They're looking at streams and stuff.
They're looking at something.
Those are bean counters.
Yeah, they are not part.
They don't know nothing about this here.
No.
And I'm sure somebody on that board watched the R&B Money podcast. You need your ass kicked. Go ahead.
All right, top 5 R&B songs. That's a tough one.
Because you are a writer
Top 5
Producer.
R&B songs.
and a producer,
Label owner.
a label owner too.
It's one of them's going to be, and I'm not talking about hits on the radio.
No.
Great song.
Great songs.
Your top 5.
One of them's going to be Summer Soft by Stevie Wonder on the Songs in the Key of Life album. Summer Soft. Then I'm going to have to say, I think it's called Try Something New. Smokey Robinson. Look it up.
Try something new.
If that don't do, I'll try something new. You never heard that one?
No.
I can build you a tower,
I have
your
heard
own
that
castle.
record.
And if
Yes.
that don't do, I'll try something new.
Oh yeah, it's a cold record. I know exactly what record you're talking about.
Because I was gonna say either that one or Tears of a Clown, but I'm gonna go try something new.
Tears of a Clown is amazing.
You know, you can't. I don't know if I can call this R&B. Started out as a Leon Russell song, and then Donny Hathaway did it, and I want to say George Benson might have did it too, called "A Song for You."
Oh yeah.
You're not calling that R&B?
Well, because in the origin,
The
of
origin,
it was
okay.
Leon Russell,
Okay, all right.
pop rock guy. Oh yeah, I be knowing my history about all the. I'm a geek with this music.
I see.
Then I can go a little current. It's one of my favorites of all time. Is do you believe in love and the power that it gives? I'm gonna love you for life, 'cause you love me while I live. Woo!
Yeah. Those guys, Jodeci.
And then I'm gonna say, because this is something I will listen to, I'll never get tired of hearing, is D'Angelo's version of Cruising.
His version is so fire.
The production, him,
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
That production has not been duplicated.
No.
No.
Yeah.
No one has touched that.
From here, man.
Hey, you rock with Smokey. It's just,
One of the best songwriters to ever do.
Yeah,
ever
yeah,
do
you
it.
got a Smokey thing.
ever
You
do
got-
it. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Can I add a new section for him?
I was gonna ask him, did he like? You know what? I ain't gonna.
You want to come real together?
No,
He
no.
always bringing something back. He always,
He said when he was a gang member.
You gonna bring up the gasm? That's what you're gonna bring up?
No. I was gonna go back to when he was gangbang.
Smoking that weed.
Hey, man.
Smoking that smoke.
He was singing
Drinking
about
that
your
drink.
neighborhood.
Taking that
He had a blue hoodie on. So he had a,
Listen.
doing that wrong, gang banging. I want to get you. This is a new segment just for you.
This is
That's
a
special.
Warren Campbell.
This is a Warren Campbell
I
segment.
need y'all to say it when the next person comes.
So
The
anytime
Warren
we
Campbell
ask
segment.
about this segment,
It's
this
the
is the
Warren
Warren
And
Campbell.
He ain't asked me nothing about it. Yeah, I'm knowing about it now too.
It just slapped me in the face. The new Warren Campbell segment. Your top 5 R&B producers.
Oh, I'm
This is the Warren
rolling.
Campbell segment.
Of all time.
I'm rolling.
Now,
He has information.
A lot of it.
I'm going to go to top.
Download it.
Let's knock the first ones out. Number 1
I already know.
is going to be Quincy Jones.
Of course you are.
Okay.
Of course you are.
The man.
Anytime a producer who does not produce how we do, when we physically are, He produces from his Rolodex and his pen.
Pimp his pen.
Pimp his pen.
You play this. You play that. Rolodex, I'm going to call this person, and you get the same result every time? Even the same sound, sonically.
Monsters.
He's just done too much. Right under him is going to be Arif Mardin. Arif Mardin from Turkey. He's passed on. He started out as an arranger, big band arranger, worked at Atlantic for years under Jerry Wexler and Ahmet Ertegun. Went on to produce songs like I Feel For You,
What?
Because I love Shaka Khan, all them. What you gonna do for me? That album, I Love You. That's Arif Mardin. Yes.
Come on.
Yes.
Come on with the information.
Old Turkish Arif, was probably right now he'd probably be in his 90s right now. Arif was the man. So you got Arif Mardin.
Wow.
After that, it's gonna be oh God. I'm gonna say Bernard Edwards, but it's the other one. Oh Lord Jesus. Nile Rodgers and Chic. Thank you. Because the bass player is Bernard. I got the bass player in my head. But Nile Rodgers, unmatched. The consistency.
For decades.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then let's move up into our era.
Okay.
It's going to have to be Teddy Riley. Still now. Now. We just talked about him doing that record with me. So let me just get into that just a little bit with the Walls Group. First song on the album, they wanted a 90s. These kids are really into 90s music right now.
Yeah.
So on their last album, I did like a 90s record for them. They loved this album. Let's do another one. So I did this. I worked up this New Jack Swing joint that I did, and they loved it. They wrote a song to it. I said, let me send it to Teddy and see. I'm thinking he's going to say, I'll play some talk box on it. He loved it so much, he called me back and said, how far can I go? I said, shoot. Teddy, go as far as you want to go. He sent it back with like all the Teddy Riley stuff on it and gave me a remix that sounded like Keep It in the Closet on top of it. You ain't heard that one yet.
Oh, you got to play that for the wave. I'm sorry.
Oh my God, it's crazy. So, Teddy Riley he's that dude.
I'm trying to see, because now you about to be on your fifth. You sang the fifth, but now you about to be on your fifth. And to me, there are two production teams, and I'm trying to see which one is gonna get picked.
Because I'm about to hit you with it.
I got. Yeah. I'm sitting up, man.
I'm sitting up, man. Give me some cheeses.
No, we don't say their name. They ain't paid us.
Okay.
But we gon'.
Oh yeah, no. It's gonna be Jam and Lewis for me. It's gonna be Jam and Lewis.
I can't argue Jam and Lewis.
Yeah,
but L.A. and Face might have an argument for you.
Because I'm gonna tell you why I didn't go L.A. and Face. Because I'm a musician, right? Face is a musician. L.A. was a drummer, but really that whole movement was more about Face and what he was bringing to that thing. You know what I'm saying?
And the writing.
Yeah, and the writing. Jam and Lewis are equal parts. Like Jam can play the crap out that keyboard. Terry can play the crap out that bass. I'm talking about like nasty. But then Terry is the one writing and producing the vocals too. Then Jam is mixing. It's just like the division of labor.
Yeah.
There
is
the
division of labor.
The division of labor.
Yeah, it's like I respect that. Like, it's not heavy on one side. It's like they both without each other. That doesn't work. You see where Babyface went on without LA and still did everything. See what I'm saying?
Wow.
That's why I said that.
And that's why you
I don't take
baby
nothing
dub.
away from
That's
him.
why you baby dub,
man. I'm not baby dub. You're baby dub.
27 nominations. That's the guy.
27 up on me.
Hey, and shout out to my wife. Shout out to my wife. She's nominated again this year.
Yeah, wife. Yeah.
I mean, we both were nominated. I won't be there. I'll be. She's going to the Grammys. I'm not gonna go. I got to preach Sunday. So,
Hallelujah.
yeah, I got to. It's the first time this is happening. Well, I'm not going to the Grammys because I'm gonna be at church preaching.
Talk about
It's the first time it's ever happened. Not last time we were nominated. We were nominated for one of the Mary joints. I went to and got my Grammy and went to church to be ordained because I was getting ordained that afternoon. I was like, but I got to go to the Grammys first.
You're right.
Because we might win. And we won that night, and I went. But this time I was like, yeah, I got too much going on at the church.
Can you give them that? Give the people the address.
The church is called California Worship Center. Everybody calls it Cali Worship, which is Cali. All right. 214 McClay Avenue in the city of San Fernando. Come check us out.
Not that talk.
Come check us out anytime. They missed a good, man, we had a crazy one last week. Fifth Sunday is called Super Sunday. Everybody was there. It was
There's a fifth Sunday too?
Yeah, every so often there's 5 Sundays in the month.
It's something with you and these fives, man. No, listen. Listen. We having a whole
5 Pinty.
We having a whole nother street conversation.
You know
me and him right now, Jim.
You know the pentatonic scale?
I don't.
Hit all the black notes. How many black notes is it?
5.
So that's why it's called the pentatonic scale. It's only 5 notes in it. Pinty, 5.
You know he from 52nd Street, right?
I would throw
you
it
got
up.
a lot of gangbang going on, man. You gotta relax, brother.
He keeps saying I'm a rider.
You gotta relax.
Somebody might have got
you
jumped
gotta
in.
with your fives, man. You gotta relax.
If you watch this dad, I ain't never got jumped in. My knuckles is black for that reason. I had to fight everybody in that neighborhood. Never got squared up. Never once. Because I was scared of you, Pop.
Talk to talk.
Came home with blood on my knuckles. Like, I did not get beat up. Okay? Well, Big Beef hit me with that yardstick.
What?
I forgot about that.
What?
Let me get some of these.
Who?
Big Beef.
Hey man, we are gonna twist this caption up so crazy.
Because he hit it with the yardstick.
Warryn Campbell got hit with the big beef, and then pause.
In Jesus' name.
We gotta get our subscribers up, boy.
I gotta grab
And then the big beef walked in.
Clip me.
And it got dark. We don't
Get out of here. Get out of here, man. Get out of here.
It got
Big
dark.
Beef go whoop tank ass, man. You stop, man.
Nah, see, I got to clear things up. Big Beef was a kid I went to school with, not to be confused with my big homie Beefy Loke from Long Beach. I know you might, no, not that beefy. Big Beef. I got to do that.
Yeah. Do your due diligence. I
had to-
understand. A little housekeeping.
Keep that in.
Jay, I mean,
No. You skipped one of your segments.
oh,
man.
that's right.
Come on, man. This is Warryn Campbell.
This
brother.
is Warryn Campbell.
Listen, I got all the
skip
time,
no
but
segment.
we
I
can
made
do it.
up a whole segment
Well,
and then forgot to
you
read.
took
Okay,
one out.
my fault. My fault.
I ain't gonna let you do it.
Don't you let me do it. Don't
I
you
want
let
to
me
do
do
this
it.
podcast again, but this time I want a keyboard too, so we can play together.
Oh, that'd be exciting.
I'll play the bass line.
You want to just have the keyboard? Want me to bring the keyboard over
No,
there?
no,
now?
we can-
Okay, all right. Here's what I want from you, Warryn Campbell. We're gonna make an R&B Voltron. Okay, I want to know who you're getting the voice from, the performance style from, the styling from, and then the passion. So we're gonna start with the vocal. Whose vocal are you stealing to make your Voltron artist?
And it has to be an R&B artist.
I mean, that's up to you, brother.
Who vote-
You gonna make them sing R&B then?
They're going to sing R&B.
Because you are who you are, and you can,
Yeah. Do it.
Who got the vocals?
What the vocals you need?
Whose voice is it?
Okay. I'm going to go with the vampire, Marvin Winans. They call him the vampire because he's never met a vamp he didn't like. I'm talking about on the spot. You go to a vamp, he got ad-libs for days. It's like he's writing another song on the spot. Like you ever hear somebody freestyle nice that can
Right.
spit? He's that dude. It's a whole nother song. I'm going with Marvin Winans as the voice.
Jonathan Hall used to kick my ass when we was on tour with Genuine, ad-libbing. And I'm like, how do you know how to ad-lib like that? I can ad-lib, but what are you doing? He said, Marvin Winans.
Marvin Winans. You've never, listen, You ain't never seen nothing like this in your
He
life.
used to whoop me.
I'm talking about coming with a whole other song on top of the song, and you be like, "This is crazy." Yeah. So I'm gonna go with
Marvin Winans.
Who are you getting the styling from with the drip of the artist, their aura? What does that look like?
They Ernest Paul. Who you getting
Yeah, they
that?
Ernest Paul.
Yeah. That's probably going to be because now the artist is a man.
No. It's up to you. I mean,
I'm not gonna put
there's a
Marvin Winans' voice.
Okay, all right.
I can't put Marvin Winans' voice in the dress.
Yeah, we're gonna put it in the dress, but no.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay, fair enough.
And then we're crafting like a yeah. He's like, we are not getting canceled. Hand on this shit, like, please.
I said nothing.
Yeah, y'all gonna have to cut a lot of this because it's gonna cut around the edges. You're gonna have to cut the corners off this. Cut the corners off this bread.
Because we are children.
So yeah, drip wise, you know what? Who I've always been a fan of how they dressed on stage is Marvin Gaye. I feel like Marvin Gaye would put glitter on anything. Headband, hoodies. He had like glitter vests. He wears boots with a pinstripe jacket. He would wear all kind of crazy stuff like that. I think he was a king of signature. Like stuff like when he wore the beanie, it became like that's the Marvin Gaye.
Yeah.
His ability to make things, you know.
So Marvin Gaye with the drip.
Yeah, Marvin Gaye with the drip.
Marvin Winans, Marvin Gaye.
Marvin.
Marvin and Marvin.
Okay.
Okay.
And then what was the other category?
Who you getting the performance style from?
Oh.
Yeah.
Listen, man, I've always been a fan of dramatic performers. But with this voice, I was gonna say James Brown, but no. With that kind of voice and this kind of style, you got to go Al Green.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
Al Green would go in the bag and he would go in.
Yeah.
And leave y'all for a moment and be singing to himself by himself. He'd be, just be doing his whole thing. And you just mesmerize like, oh, he's singing to himself.
Yeah. Have you watched the documentary?
Which one?
Is it The Gospel According to Al Green?
When he's in this little
like
restaurant.
a hall in a sense.
And it looked like Raphael Sadiq's playing bass?
Yes.
I asked Ray. He said, no, that ain't me. I said, somebody looked just like you. And his name was Ray.
Wow.
Yeah, I seen
If you
that.
haven't seen that documentary, Tank,
It's
you
crazy.
gotta watch
It's from the
it.
80s.
Is that am I saying the name right? The Gospel According to Al Green?
I don't know.
Because
if
he's
that's the name
talking
of
about
it.
going back and forth between gospel and R&B in a sense.
And they doing
in there.
videos of him in the studio.
in the studio talking
rehearsing,
to.
whatever.
Yeah. No, it's special. It's
crazy.
It's special.
Okay.
It's dope.
Because he's having those moments where he's singing to him. He's in front of people, but he's singing for him to him.
And everybody in his band got a Jerry curl. All of
You
them.
gotta have that.
All the drummers just hair just
Wet.
grease. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Al Green would be the
Performance style.
The performance style.
What about the passion, the heart of the artist?
I'm gonna have to go with the undying work ethic and bulldog tenacity of Prince. Especially when it came to like on stage where his competitive edge.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you
I
ain't
know.
gonna-
I know what video you talking about. That Prince and Michael Jackson and James Brown video.
Yeah, he ain't gonna whoop me.
Yeah, when he thought the light pole was really a light
Yeah,
pole
he went up there to like
to get his off.
Yeah, he didn't, but he he crashed and burned. But like, yeah, he fell out the tree. But like, he
Literally.
really, but he right. But the way
We need another edit for that right there too, Jacob. There's an amazing video of Prince on stage with Michael
seen that
Jackson and
video?
James Brown.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
the greatest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Prince. He was just passionate about how he made music, You know, you can hear it. You can listen to the stuff he was doing.
He was
like,
dialed in.
He was completely creative though. He's just outside of anybody's box.
Yeah. Yeah, that dude, man, had something. I went to his house one time to do not to do nothing, to go to a little party or something. It was after an Image Awards. And so the principals like to invite you guys to come to his house. It's the house that he was renting from Carlos Boozer. I get up there, and it's like 20 people in there. That's it. He had his full band. He's in some silk pajamas playing all night. Then he left for a minute and came back and changed into another color of silk pajamas and kept playing all night long. I was like, man, this dude is something else. He didn't even say hi to nobody. He was just playing. He was eating, food and crap,
That was just his audience.
Yeah. That was it. Sheila E. was there playing. It was crazy.
Hi.
He wasn't talking to nobody. He was just playing. It's like, wow, is he going to stop playing? I was like,
Say hello.
nah.
I wonder how to do. I wonder if I can do that.
You could. Because he did it on top of his pool. He covered the pool with a clear thing.
Plexiglass, yeah.
And then we was out there dancing. I was dancing with Angela Bassett. Yeah.
We're gonna get out of there. You start rubbing
Come on,
the couch.
microfiber. Come on, microfiber.
We're gonna go to the next segment.
She don't remember it, but I do.
Because he started rubbing the microfiber. He's still rubbing the microfibers. I don't know what the correlation is.
Hey, Andrew.
You know what?
Don't you do it. Don't you do
Microfiber so soft.
Don't you do it. Come on, Jay. What you got for him?
Listen, going from Prince house to the microfiber to dancing with you know who, got another little church segment.
Uh-oh.
I ain't saying no names. I ain't saying no names.
Hey.
I ain't saying no names. I ain't saying no
Oh, he got him
names. Where
here
you
today.
was,
He got him here.
who you with,
Yeah.
what you did, and what you was. I ain't saying no names. I ain't saying no names. Oh,
We got a segment. Part of the show, man. It's just, it can either be funny. I mean, you Pastor Warren right now, or you just my partner Warren?
I'm always the same guy every time you
Okay,
show up.
the story
I'm
can
all
be
of
funny or fucked up.
yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Pastor. Or both.
Yeah.
In your travels in this music business,
In this church and these streets.
in these church and these streets, what you call them?
The cheats.
Cheats.
The cheats.
In these cheats.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What you've gone through in this thing, without saying no names. We need that story. We need one.
So I can't say the name?
No. You can't say who you was with. You can't say who was there.
You can't say where you was.
I mean, you can explain things.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because people have standout, characteristics and qualities.
Yeah.
But you can't say no names. You can't put no face with the case.
No face. Oh, I like that. No face with the case.
Come on, man. You 52nd Street, man.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
5 deuce, baby.
Oh, there you go. There you go. So this is Warren Campbell's Baby Dub, My Block. I ain't saying no names.
I'm not saying no names. But it was 1995.
Timestamp. Okay. I like the timestamp.
New York.
Yeah.
It was cold.
The place was Rockefeller Center Plaza, the Saturday Night Live stage. So I'm there with a certain rapper. And we are doing the Friday night camera blocking. That's what they do, the rehearsal camera blocking. The entourage is thick. I'm talking about thick rap. You know what rap entourages are like.
Yeah.
You got about 30 dudes that don't do nothing. They just there.
In case something jump.
And another 30 dudes is there for a whole another reason. You see what I'm saying? Walking down the hall was an older gentleman because there's work going on. They're building sets and things of that nature. He's moving a scaffold, rolling down the hallway. It's a narrow hallway. There's a young lady there who's part of the entourage. And he's rolling down the hallway and he bumps into this little lady. She is incensed that he would bump into her.
Well, he's doing his job though.
He's doing his job. She ain't doing nothing.
No, yeah, I already know she ain't.
Do you know I'm call so and so, tell them and the other guys grab this older gentleman, throw him in a closet in the hallway, lock him in there. And one guy stands in front of that closet and don't let him out the entire time. The whole time. So we leave and go to eat after that. It's, I don't know, it might be 11 o'clock at night. Somebody says, hey, where's so-and-so? He's still standing in front of the door, not letting that guy out.
No way.
Other thing.
Ain't no way.
They go over there, because that's before, nobody had cell phones at the time. They go get him. That dude is in there passed out. He's urinated on himself. He's defecated on himself. He's scared to death. Because he thinks the people that threw him in that closet,
Yeah, they gonna do something to him.
because they're known for doing something. I ain't saying no names, but that happened.
At Saturday Night Live.
At Saturday Night Live.
Did that artist ever get to perform there again?
No. I think only because that artist passed away that year. Later that year, yeah. So, or the next year. But anyway, yeah. But I ain't saying no names. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Warryn Campbell, man.
The adventures.
Dude, the
Oh, yeah.
adventures of Warryn Campbell.
Oh, I've had many of adventure. But listen, it wouldn't be the game it is without the adventures. That's
For sure.
come on,
sure.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like the stories that really kind of fuel the music sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
What just happened before, what just happened after. Man, that's what, that's what put the batteries in our back to keep us going.
Yeah. Well, listen, my brother. I mean, what can we say, man?
Well, let me say this.
Okay. Oh, you know what? Listen.
Say what you want, baby.
Yeah.
I want to give y'all, I'm not into the flowers, but I give y'all kudos. Give y'all what we call, just want to give y'all some good language. Y'all are doing an amazing job with this podcast and bringing R&B to the forefront and letting people tell their stories who may not otherwise have much of a platform to tell their stories. Y'all are really doing something, and I don't know if you know it or not, but you are literally in the middle of making history. Literally, history is being made every time you fire these cameras up and sit on these premium blue couches. Every time. These premium microfibers.
These Angela
And I just want to give y'all, that. Listen, man,
wow.
give y'all some good language, man. That's
bro.
like, I've been watching, I watch all the episodes, man. This is amazing to see y'all just keep doing it, man. Don't stop. That's my encouragement. Don't stop, man. Just keep it going.
Good language,
Oh yeah.
according to
Sometimes
Pastor.
I say bad language, and I apologize, Pastor.
No, I mean, that's something I learned from C.S. Lewis. He would say, I owe this fella some good language. I want to say something nice about this guy.
Wow. Thank you,
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah.
No, man, y'all doing it.
Thank you, bro.
Absolutely.
Well, man, listen, man, I'm Tank.
I'm J Valentine.
And this is the R&B Money Podcast,
Yeah.
the authority
Yes, sir.
on all things R&B.
Yeah.
And in the building, man, we've just had, we've just experienced greatness. You know what I mean? And I'm not as a singer, songwriter, producer, performer. I'm not afraid, by no means, to honor the man, the pastor, Warryn, Baby Dub, right here in the building. Make some noise, man.
I appreciate it, man. Well, yeah.